Tone, an Odyssey sports station.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-7473.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Game Day Uncensored, post-game edition.
Keep rolling. Don't be stressed. I know what's online.
Recapping the Fins game. Real reaction, real opinions, real talk for real fans.
That sounds amazing.
On AM 560 Sports, WQAM, FM 99.9 HD2, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Game Day Uncensored is sponsored by South Florida Lexus Dealers. Experience amazing by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka on game day? Pour me in, coach. Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac. Make sure your next Cadillac is backed by Morse at Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac. Proud partner of the Miami Dolphins by JM Lexus. At JM Lexus, you'll always get the home team advantage. And by Williamson Automotive. Williamson is Miami.
It is a game of inches. Is it going to be the Dolphins inches or is it going to be the Patriots inches? Height times up in Foxborough. Looked like the Patriots scored a touchdown with just a little over a minute left. It would have been 15-16. But the touchdown was called back. They say the guy did not get 2 feet in. It is now 15-10 with 1 minute left. 4th and 10, Patriots in the red zone. Logic would say neither of these teams are really good at offense. And how Jacoby Brissett going to get you? As a Dolphins fan, you're going, eesh. We're running the play right now. 4th and 10, 15-10, Dolphins lead 1 minute. Patriots on the 12-yard line. And there's yet another flag. How you doing, by the way? I am Dan Day with my cousin Vladimir Lewisson. If you're a Dolphins fan right now, logically, you should be saying, I feel good. We're okay. But you're probably not. You're probably going, oh, God, we're going to find a way to lose this game. How is Jacoby Brissett and the Patriots going to do it? But logically, Jacoby Brissett, Gerard Mayo, their head coach, rookie head coach, your defense has been good. It's 4th and 15 now. 1 minute left. Logically, you feel good. Once again, as a Dolphins fan, and they're getting ready to snap the play. And the play is off. And good pressure. Jacoby Brissett throws off his back foot. The ball is incomplete. And it looks like
no flags.
The Dolphins will win this game. I was waiting for that. Thank you very much. The Dolphins look like they are most likely going to win this game now up 15-10. They have the ball with 55 seconds left. The Patriots do have 3 timeouts, though, and this Dolphins team never ceases to amaze us, at least this season. So we're going to hold on a little bit for another 55 seconds. That was a bad pass. That pass looked like a Jacoby Brissett pass. It was about 5 yards overthrown into double coverage, 2 guys in the end zone. Miami Dolphins hanging tough. Is this a case where the Dolphins are getting a little bit healthier and a little bit better? Never mind, Devon Achane left the game with a concussion and Javon Holland left the game with a bad hand. Is this a case of the Dolphins getting a little bit healthier and a little bit better? Or is this the case of a bad Dolphins team being better than a bad New England Patriots team? I don't know. 2nd down now. 47 seconds left. New England Patriots elect to call a timeout. Oh, nothing easy in this league. Today, not the most beautiful game. Snoop Huntley at times looked, I guess at best, is that fair to say, Vad? Okay. At times you looked okay.
I'm
saying at best.
Yeah, because I mean, for a guy who only joined the team not too long ago, like a couple of weeks ago, he looked better. He got the ball to Tyreek. He was you could tell
they threw it down the field a little bit.
Right, but the running game, bro, the running game has been great so far in this game. Both guys have combined to go over 140 yards, and they each have 70 yards each. Mostert and Jalen Wright.
Because remember, Devon Achane had the concussion.
Because of the running game, and shout out to Alec Ingold, man. He's been busting his ass. He's got to be tired.
Interesting. Is that maybe the new identity of this team? It's what we have. We have Alec Ingold, fullback, blocking. Raheem Mostert did seem like he gave a shot of life to this team. And Jalen Wright being a tough, fast, physical back. This might be right now not the answer to all of our problems, but an answer to some of our problems. This team might just have to be a physical, grinded out, running team.
Well, if they have to be physical, I mean, that will be new, but their whole the reason why, because the whole success of this offense has always been the running game.
Right.
Last year, they were a top 5 running
Oh.
game early on until, December when the injuries started to happen. And you could tell by the insertion of Raheem Mostert back in the lineup that the running game took off. And because it took off, it's pretty much may lead to a Dolphin victory or something that they haven't had since week 1.
He looks like a leader. He looks like he's running hard. He looks like he's trying to ignite and lead this team. It just looked like this team was a little tougher, a little more obviously knowledgeable. Snoop Huntley actually had a couple of more days to study and learn. It is now 4th and 1 with 41 seconds left. The Dolphins most likely will punt. If you've been watching this game, hold your breath. There's been blocked punts. There's been missed field goals. There's been bad snaps. There's been all types of craziness. But once again, logically, if you're a Dolphins fan, you have to believe you get this punt off, and Jacoby Brissett and New England's not going to drive the field in 41 seconds are a large part of the field. But once again, we hold our breath because we are Dolphins fans and we know anything is possible. The punt is off. And guessing they will try to return it. Oh, no. Let's wait for it. It looks like he's not going to get too far, but they're going to be around the 45-yard line. So they got 55 yards to go in 29 seconds. Once again, logically, if you're a Dolphins fan, you should be feeling okay. But if you are a Dolphins fan, you're probably saying, Gameday, stop. Just stop. It's Jacoby Brissett. 6 career game-winning drives. Did you know that? Jacoby Brissett has a game-winning drive, much less 6 career game-winning drives. Last time was November 2017, but nonetheless, the Dolphins have been decent on defense. I have to give credit. Zach Sealer and Calais Campbell and Emmanuel Agba, they continued their very good play. I'm not going to say stellar, but good play. Secondary's been okay. Then again, it's Jacoby Brissett throwing passes out there. They're dropping back. And they had him in the grasp, and he got away. And did they complete that pass down the field? Yes, that completed to the 35-yard line.
Well, they're going to have 2 plays, I think, for the end zone.
Oh, yeah, they have no timeouts. The clock tick, 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 tick. 12. Oh, okay. So, yep, you get probably 12 seconds. It is now 2nd and 10, but really 2nd and touchdown because they're down, remember, 15-10. They need a touchdown to win this game. I'm not going to go through the scenarios because it scares me to even think about the possible scenarios that could be happening in this game. We're just going to hope our defense can hold, and Anthony Weaver has got something dialed up to stop this not so stellar New England Patriots offense, not so stellar New England Patriots defense, although the defense for them has been pretty solid. But the 2 teams' defenses have definitely been on display today. 2 lowest scoring teams in the league, by the way, and they proved it today. Right now, it's 15-10. Hopefully, no more points will be allowed in this game as Jacoby Brissett is bleeding the play clock. Now, with 10 seconds left, he is looking deep. He is throwing deep. That is caught at the 10-yard line, but there's 3, 2, 1. Bad job, Jacoby Brissett. That was a stupid play to not get out of bounds. Dolphins win on what you would expect the game to end on, Vlad. A very, what? What are you doing? Throwing to the middle of the field, basically, to a guy who was relatively open, but with 10 yards left to spare. Not a great job. Not a great job. Not a great game. I'll be honest. Not a great game. But if you're a Dolphins fan,
got the win, man.
2nd place also in the AFC East, by the way, with that win. Tied for 2nd place.
Okay. I was about to say.
Because the Jets, they did lose earlier today over in jolly old London, England. They lost by 7 to Minnesota Vikings.
6. We lost by 6.
6. Okay. Get a win.
Not that it means anything, but yeah.
Tyler Huntley, we're going to get to a scoreboard later on, but Tyler Huntley gets his first win as a Dolphin. The Tyler Huntley era is off to a...
Hey, Dolphin fans,
you know what? Start.
I don't want to see any negative comments, man. Y'all got to win. It's the first time you've won since week 1.
Yeah.
The first time to be happy about anything Dolphin related since before the Buffalo game. So enjoy this. Yes, you won with your 3rd string quarterback, maybe your 4th string quarterback. You won with your 4th string quarterback.
Look, let's just enjoy this while we have it. Let's not get too crazy, too angry, too upset. You won, and that's what's important. You go in there and you find a way to win. You're 2-3 now. 2-3. Once again, now you're going into an open date, so you have a little bit of time. Then you're going to play the Indianapolis Colts, who were, last I checked, losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars today. So once again, today, a winnable game, you won. Not next week, but the 2 weeks from today, a winnable game against the Colts, you win. All of a sudden, you're 3-3. And guess who might be coming back?
But that's what I'm saying. Your bye week's next week. You didn't want to go into a bye with a loss. However, you needed to get that win and work out all the kinks. You start getting fresh bodies back. Be happy with this win.
And by the way, the Texans just defeated the Buffalo Bills on a last-second field goal. So now you're one game behind Buffalo, but they have the tiebreaker.
Right, but guess what? They lost. They're on a 2-game losing streak.
Yes.
Whoever loses the Jets-Buffalo game next week, you know what I mean? You may be a half game ahead of them. So, yes.
Feel good.
Things were looking bad for the last 3 weeks. Things are now finally, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Good.
Yes, it was an ugly win, but I've never heard anybody getting props for pretty losses.
You know what? It doesn't matter. A win's a win is a win is a win. I'll come to you in 3 years from now and be like, hey, do you remember that 15-10 Dolphins Patriots game? You'll say, I mean, sort of, we won 15-10. You're not going to say, well, really, the offense struggled. Snoop Huntley didn't have the greatest game, although he did pass for over 200 yards, and be like, the running backs really, really led the way. Raheem Mostert reinsertion into the lineup and Jalen Wright got going. You're not going to remember all that. You're going to remember, it was a tough game, but we won 15-10. That's all that matters.
Guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, you like when fans like that, it's just like, yo, y'all ridiculous, man. Not everything's gonna be a 30-0 game. You're playing with your fourth-string quarterback.
Yeah,
like,
and he does look like he's still trying to learn the playbook and the plays. I mean, and if it's complicated, it's like throwing someone in there. But they did look a little bit more like themselves. They got back to the running game. Raheem Mostert, I thought, was a true shot in the arm. Jalen Wright, I like what he did in preseason. Physical, fast back. Started getting the ball a little bit more downhill to the likes of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And it seemed like they made it kind of an effort to get to Jonnu Smith, the tight end, involved a little bit. Nonetheless, Dolphins get the win. 15-10. Man, it started off at first. I thought the first drive, if you watched it, Vlad, I thought that the offense kind of looked like, not that it was rolling, but it looked more like itself. They, of course, got a field goal out of it, kind of stalled out, but they looked a little bit more like themselves. They looked like they had a little bit more of an identity. And I was like, the team's getting a little more healthier. They're starting to figure things out. Teron Armstead is back. He says he's healthy. He's blocking. Odell Beckham Jr., he played his first game. He didn't catch any passes. Nonetheless,
fleeced.
He's back. He's on the team, man. He's getting back into shape. Kind of just looked like you knew what you were doing. And then there's the interception that we threw an interception. They got a touchdown. That's okay.
And here's the other thing, Dan. Who's that? This division is not as great as everybody thought it was going to be. Whether it's because of play, injuries, what every team has or have issues that they're dealing with. So the fact of the matter is, you're 1-1 in the division.
Mm-hmm.
You're 2-3. You're going into your bye, and chances are you're going to get your starting quarterback back. You've
won a game on the road in New England. Yeah, and there's a chance that come Arizona 3 weeks from now, you get Tua Tagovailoa back. Once again, optimism, maybe, not the greatest of optimism. Yes, the play hasn't been very good, but hey, you got one. Now you got a winnable game against Indianapolis. Most likely you'll be playing.
I don't know if it's winnable. Indianapolis is they got Waka Flocka Flames.
Yeah, they got Waka Flocka by a winless Jacksonville Jaguar team. A lot of people thought was the worst team.
Wait,
they
lost?
Yeah, it's over.
Was it by field goal?
3? Yeah.
Yeah, come on, whatever.
Whatever.
They covered.
We won by a field goal. Oh, okay. Well, that's what's important. 37-34. Goodness gracious, a shootout. Of course, we're going to get the scoreboard as it goes. Yeah, Raheem Mostert. Alec Ingold, by the way, you got to give him props.
Oh, man.
Probably gets the game ball. We'll get the game ball out later on, but probably going to get a game ball. Just a little hint, player of the game, possibly. I mean, he did work. Even the guys on TV were talking about how much. Just follow Alec Ingold. He will lead you to where the ball is about to go. And he got the touch at the end. He scored the winning touchdown for the Miami Dolphins. The only touchdown of the day for the Miami Dolphins. Rewarding all of his hard work. Raheem Mostert, Jalen Wright. Got to worry now about Devon Achane. You knew the second he got hit and he wasn't moving that well, you knew it was going to be a concussion because that's the way that things go with the Dolphins. I saw Javon Holland when he got rolled up on, but kind of like Jalen Ramsey, and he was just laying there, and I was like, number 8's probably not coming back.
Remember what I
either.
said when we thought Polk scored that
Oh yeah.
go ahead touchdowns. Like, yeah, there was no Holland there. Like that was an open play. But
it's going to be interesting what the NFL says about that play.
No, I mean they went over it. All touchdowns are
Reviewed, especially in the last 2 minutes.
Now we didn't have the volume on, so we didn't know what was going on. So obviously the callers and the listeners will. But hey man, it's a road win. You showed heart. You showed that you have some, toughness, and a couple of Jason Sanders. He kicked all right, but a couple of misses there.
Yeah.
At least you saw the offense move against a pretty good defense.
Yeah, it's a pretty good defense. Let's give New England credit where credit is due. Their defense is solid. They always hang their hat on that. That's their time. And you know what? You played their style of game, whether you wanted to or not. You kind of had to. But they're the grind it out, try to win it at the end of the game type of team. They realize their personnel. They got Jacoby Brissett. We were going after him, nailing him. A lot of people are saying that's why Drake May isn't playing, because they're going to basically be feeding him to the wolves. Jacoby Brissett stood in there, made some really bad passes, not a lot of good passes, but got good pressure. Defense has been solid. You get it. Special teams are pretty bad. You had the missed field goal. You had the bad snap field goal. You had the blocked punt. You had that one snap, and it just seemed like both teams, once they kind of got near scoring position, just started going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, well, listen, it's like every time you take 2 steps forward, it was like
3 steps back.
3 steps back for both teams.
Yeah.
If the first 4 weeks was preseason, then yeah, this is week 1 of what the regular season would look like after a legitimate 4 weeks of preseason that you guys played. But nonetheless, it's a win. I don't care how you get it. Just be happy with it.
Yeah.
It's better than losing and then knowing that you lost and you played like crap. At least with a win and playing like crap, you're going to figure out, hey, we can get better. We're going to play much better than this. And when we do, the wins will look a little bit more dominating.
The rules in the pros. There are no cheap wins.
There are no cheap wins, and there's no pretty losses. I've never heard of you getting props for a pretty loss.
I've never celebrated
that's a beautiful loss.
Never celebrated a loss, especially in the pros. Has anyone ever gone out there and be like, oh, well, we look really good in that loss. What a way to go. I'm happy with it. No. You play who you play. And yeah, you see some of these teams blowing out other teams. You're like, why can't we be more like that? Well, that's just not the nature of the game. The Bears, 36-10 over the Panthers. You can't always have that. It's not always the way these games go. Washington looks good too. Commanders got a big win today too. For some reason, the score is eluding me.
They just won big. I think they won 37-7.
Yes, it's like, but that's an anomaly. Usually there are tight games. There are good games.
No, well, today were a lot of tight games. If you're looking right now, there's an overtime game between Baltimore and Cincinnati, and nobody wants to lose that game because you don't want to. Baltimore doesn't want to go 2-3.
It's also division,
and Cincinnati doesn't want to go to 1-4.
Right, and a division game,
and it's a division game, like you said. So yeah, bro.
34-13.
Washington beat Cleveland.
Derrick Henry only has 34 yards on the game. Is that correct? That can't be right.
They've done a good job of stopping him on the run, but the stats for the Dolphins game is not pretty.
We'll get to it.
But you got the win. Great job by the defense.
30 yards. Yep.
Great job. Well, you have him in your fantasy team?
No. I for some reason, I saw him score a touchdown earlier. I figured after the game he had against Buffalo that he'd have a big game. So we'll see. We're going to get to your calls later on. 305-567-0560. One touchdown from Alec Ingold. Basically the difference in the game. Dolphins win 15-10. They defeat the New England Patriots, who now, after that first win of the season against the Bengals, are now 1-4. We are 2-3. Very excited about that. We're happy. We won. That's all you ask for. Dolphins win. Let's get ready for an off week. Get even more healthy, look more like ourselves, take on an Indianapolis Colts team that is defeatable, and feel good about ourselves. Up next, going to get into the stats of the game. Get you a scoreboard later on and hear from you soon. 305-567-0560. This is Game Day Uncensored on 560 WQAM.
Just download the free Odyssey app to listen to all of our shows live or on demand. Plus, there's the cool rewind feature where you can listen to any part of any show you might have missed anytime. Get it now and make WQAM your favorite station.
For more Game Day Uncensored, post-game edition on AM 560 Sports, WQAM, FM 99.9 HD2, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Sponsored by South Florida Lexus Dealers, Tito's Handmade Vodka, Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac, JM Lexus, and Williamson Automotive.
Doesn't matter how you get there, it's that you got there, and the Dolphins got there today. They win 15-10 over the New England Patriots on the road in Foxborough, Massachusetts. We're going to get to the stats in just a minute. Of course, we also want to hear from you. Post-game reaction, 305-567-0560. Let's go to the phone lines. I'm hearing we have Cap for life. Cap, how you doing?
Gentlemen, how are you, Gameday?
Wonderful now. Big W today.
Yes, sir. It's just like you said it, man. Don't matter how you get there as long as you get there, man. And right now, on the bye week coming up, like you guys said, man, it's good for the fan base just to enjoy something, man, going into the past couple of weeks of this disarray. You know, maybe this will calm, a couple of nerves down, just knowing that we'll just sit back and relax, knowing that, a couple of the division folks lost as well. So, I was talking to Vlad earlier, man, and this fan base and this community can get from 0 to 100 real quick. But if you decide to do what we talk to you as far as a fan perspective and say, run the ball, and you finally do it, we can't complain. That fourth quarter was a dominance performance of running the ball with all will. And it was glad to see, man. It was good to see.
It was smash mouth football out there. It didn't look like Mike McDaniel's team. We looked like a tough smash mouth, rough nosed team. We didn't look like the finesse Dolphins, the greatest show on surf, or what do they call it? Basketball on the football field. We looked like a team that was ready to grind it out and be tough. Cincinnati Bengals just missed a field goal in overtime against Baltimore. It's still 38-38 with 4:26 left to go. Did you like that? You think you're going to get some more of that, Cap?
Oh, man, to be honest with you, like I said, we're in a position where I just want to see the rest of the guys beat each other up, and we just sit back and rest and relax. And if we do things the smart way, anything can happen, man, anything. But we got to do things the smart way in a collective unit. When the fans talk, please listen.
And we get another week, too. Miami Dolphins will get a week off next week. So that's another week for Tyler Huntley to learn the playbook, this team to get a little more healthier, and possibly Tua Tagovailoa getting closer to returning. So run the ball, do what it takes, grind it out, get wins. The special teams can be a little shaky sometimes, but hey, look, I'm happy with the win. I can't tell you anything other than that I'm very happy with the win.
Likewise, brother. Likewise. You guys have a good weekend. Enjoy and stay safe this weekend and stay prepared.
That's what I'm talking about, Cap. Of course, we do have a hurricane or at least a tropical storm nearing us. That could be around Tuesday or Wednesday.
Wednesday, they said.
Not looking forward to that, man. Not looking forward to that. Now, I'd like to tell you that what you saw last year from the Dolphins, that's what you're always going to see. Mike McDaniel, he's got a scheme. He's got a way to do things. You remember those people that said that Tua, anybody could replace him? Well, they were wrong, okay? That's been proven that it's not as simple as, plug and play. The Kyle Shanahan way. It is the Mike McDaniel way. This offense has struggled. It's been hard to watch. The commentators, I give them credit. They'll say it straight up. The announcers, man, this game, two very
the penalties were bad.
You could tell, two very undisciplined teams. Some of them unnecessary. Jalen Ramsey's roughing of the passer, and I give him a little bit of slack. He was trying to get him on the shoulder, got him in the face mask, and got the penalty. But then they came right back down and did the same thing, roughing the passer a couple times. And these two teams, not very disciplined, not very good. And like I said, I'd like to tell you, last year, it was so easy. It was so fun. But this year, maybe not going to be that easy. Huntley, 18 for 31, 194 yards. I thought he was going to get those 200 yards. He did, though, that one bad interception that got us down early when the Patriots intercepted and quickly scored a touchdown. Thought that one might hurt us, but no, we got to the running game. We got to what Mike McDaniel, Vlad, for 2 years has been telling us he's going to do. Run the ball. Get back to running the ball. Lo and behold, that's what I thought he meant.
He did that in the fourth quarter. Listen,
that's what I meant. I thought that's what he was going to do the whole time.
Dude, it looked like, you know what they look like? And you mentioned it. They look like the San Francisco 49ers. They look like this. That's what Kyle Shanahan would have done. When he sees that, okay, I can run the ball against this team, I'm going to continue pounding the ball and run. He did that one time with having Garoppolo only throw like 8 passes in an NFC championship game.
They'll do it.
He just ran the ball, and they did that to New England, which was shocking to me because you would think New England, even though they're not a good team, their defense is good.
Yes.
But their defense is good, and Gerard Mayo being part of that Patriot way all those years playing under Belichick, they would not be pushed around, and they were getting pushed around by the offensive line and especially by Alec Ingold. And it was really great to see Alec Ingold get the touchdown for the work he put in helping to run almost over. No, they did run over 150 yards.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So if you run over 150 yards in the NFL against a good, not great, but good defense,
solid defense, let's give them credit.
You should win, and they did win.
Did we just see something from Mike McDaniel that maybe we've seen for the first time? He made an adjustment. He adjusted. He saw that the running game was their path to winning, and in the fourth quarter, pounded the ball. We always say, Mike McDaniel.
He finally listened to what he really has always been trying to say.
Be true to your identity, and when adversity comes your way and curveballs come your way, adjust. Today might be his turning point. I don't want to get too far ahead of it, but you asked Mike McDaniel to adjust. It seemed like through the game, he started to adjust, and maybe this is a new Mike McDaniel. 305-567-0560. Let's go back to the phone lines. 560 WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Chuck and Matt, and we just left the game up in Foxborough.
Ooh.
Huge Dolphin fans, and they did not like us at all.
Take that, New England Patriots. How was it in the stadium? How was it to be a Dolphins fan to see that, not pretty game, but that W that is always so pretty?
Dude, I'm wearing a Merino jersey, Dolphin socks, Dolphin shoes, and a big Dolphin hat. And my son's got a Dolphin shirt on, and he's got shoes and hats, and we were obnoxious.
Are Patriot fans admitting that they suck, or are they still holding on to the glory days with Tom Brady?
No, everyone really, they all wear Brady jerseys. That's the number one jersey there.
Oh yeah, greatest. One of the greatest of all time.
It's like Merino. Now you see a lot of Tua, and you see a lot of, you got other, of course, Tyreek. Everyone's got a cheetah jersey and Waddle, but over here, man, it's a sea of number 12.
Did you think towards the end of the game that it was going to slip away from the Dolphins, or were you confident? I was confident. I'm on the record. I was confident the Dolphins would win.
Yeah, we were both cheering them on. We knew the D was going to hold. We knew it. I said, all we need is one more stop and boom. And then they get the ball back with 40 seconds. And all of a sudden, everyone that's leaving is turning around and trying to grab a seat. And then we win the game and everyone's like flying like crazy, throwing stuff down. It was great. We were totally enjoying it.
Thank you for representing for Dolphins Nation up in hostile territory. We appreciate it. You helped get that win today. We really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's what I'm talking about, man. A Dolphins fan. Listen on the Odyssey app or online, YouTube and Twitch, 560 WQAM. Tyler Huntley, good day. 18, 31, 194 yards. The running game, Vlad, like we said, got back to what we always thought Mike McDaniel would do, ground and pound. Jalen Wright, the rookie, 13 carries, 86 yards. He averaged 6.6 yards per carry. There were some holds in there, too, after some big runs. He had a big run. Julian Hill, got to get some sense in how he's blocking because he gets called for a lot of penalties. Raheem Mostert, I thought he was the shot in the arm the Dolphins needed. 19 carries on a guy that was supposed to be on a pitch count. 19 carries, 80 yards, 4.2 yards a carry. Devon Achane, of course, he left with a concussion. 3 carries, 18 yards. Tyler Huntley, 3 carries for 7 yards. And Alec Ingold, Vlad, listen to this stat line. 1 carry, huge. 3 yards, big. 1 touchdown, gigantic. Game winner. Did a lot of blocking, too. He was all over the field. They showed him on the bench at one point, Vlad. He looked like he needed an IV. He was
doing everything, man.
It's Wisconsin Badger for you, man. They don't quit. Taking it out to Mifflin Street, State Street, and all those areas. Jake Bailey, he didn't really have a run. That muffed snap. And then Jonnu Smith. That was a weird carry for Jonnu Smith. I don't know if you noticed it, Vlad. I didn't really realize it was Jonnu Smith. I just knew something was awkward about it. It was like a flip run from Jonnu Smith, -1 yard, 1 carry. Apparently, Raheem Mostert had been running so much, he was absolutely gassed, and Jonnu Smith was the next man up. Receiving, we looked a little better. We're going downfield. Tyreek Hill leads the team, 6 receptions, 69 yards. Jonnu Smith, we kind of made it a point, it seemed like, to get the ball to him. 5 receptions for 62 yards. Jalen Waddle was quiet for most of the game, but ended up with 4 receptions for 46 yards. Raheem Mostert caught 2 passes for 18 yards. On the sack front, we got 1 sack from Zach Sealer, also another sack from Emmanuel Agba. Those guys have been playing great all year long. Braxton Berrios, I got to give him credit, Vlad. You told me, I said, his return game is non-existent. You said, no. When he played for the Jets, that was the best part of his game. And I said, watch, he ain't going to do nothing this year. He's actually kind of provided a spark with some punt returns this year. He had that one cool bad punt that he caught it on the run, 19 yards. I thought we were going to get some points out of it. We didn't. Well, that's okay. Nonetheless, Jason Sanders, 3 for 4. He had along a 54-yard field goal. And Jake Bailey, he had 2 punts, 88 yards. That's a 44-yard average with 1 down to inside the 20-yard line. A win is a win is a win. The defense showed up big. Jacoby Brissett looked very pedestrian. He was under a lot of duress. 18 for 34, 160 yards. Ramondre Stevenson, he had that one big run for a touchdown, 12 carries, 87 yards. Antonio Gibson, 6 carries, 52 yards. And then Jacoby Brissett, 1 carry for 10 yards. They're receiving. Demario Douglas, 6 receptions for 6 yards. Kayshawn Booty, 2 receptions, 34 yards. Hunter Henley, 2 receptions, 32 yards. Jalen Polk, 1 reception, 13 yards. And 1 catch that was Polk in the back of the end zone that had his foot out of bounds?
Yeah.
Now I'm hearing it was clearly out of bounds. Once again, Vlad, you and I didn't have the luxury of watching it with sound and really getting into it because we were trying to get on the air. I'm guessing there was angles that obviously because they were quick to reverse the call.
I just thought maybe he got his toe.
Right, and then his heel went down.
But no, it wasn't like I guess his foot was up. So because it was pretty quick. We said, touchdown. And all of a sudden we saw 3rd and 10. I'm like, what happened there?
I saw call reversed. But man, isn't it amazing how it just rings true all the time? It's a game of inches. 1 or 2 inches further in field, that's a touchdown. The Patriots win the game. Remember at the beginning of the year, Isaiah Likely has a tiptoe out of bounds for the Baltimore Ravens.
So Larry Bird Duncan said he has to have whole foot down in the end zone on the penalties. I don't believe that. I've seen some toe tags on the side, like on the sidelines in the back of the end zone. I don't believe that. I just think you have to have I thought you just have to have both toes, but okay.
He said stupid rule, but I'll take it. I will too. Once again, we didn't have that. Oh, my duty says, how you like the field goal on 1st down? There was a field goal on 1st down? I don't know about that.
Anyway,
Jacoby Brissett going to need some ice. Yeah, Jacoby Brissett, they were coming after him. Once again, that's why a lot of Patriots fans believe that Drake May isn't playing because he is a rookie and they do not want to feed him to the Wolves. Jacoby Brissett is check down Charlie. I don't know if you noticed, lad. Whoo! You want to talk about?
It's not like they have a lot of weapons outside either, bro.
I thought that I thought this game was going to be nothing but runs.
As a matter of fact, the best thing that happened for the Dolphins was when Ramondre Stevenson got hurt in the 4th. I don't know if he whatever happened to him, it was a cramp or whatever, or somebody hit his calf, but he was the only offensive weapon for the New England Patriots.
Yeah, he really was. I mean, they didn't have a lot, but yes, he was one of those weapons for the Ramondre Stevenson. Had some pretty dynamic runs too, 87 yards on those 12 carries. I thought Antonio Gibson was okay too, but both teams I thought were just going to never pass, and they didn't have a lot of great passes, but nonetheless, Dolphins get the win 15-10. We're going to get you a scoreboard next, get you caught up with everything that's happening right now and what happened earlier today in the NFL and what's going to be happening later on tonight. Dolphins win 15-10 over New England. It just feels good. This is Game Day Uncensored on 560 WQAM.
For more Game Day Uncensored, post-game edition on AM 560 Sports, WQAM, FM 99.9 HD2, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Sponsored by South Florida Lexus Dealers, Tito's Handmade Vodka, Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac, JM Lexus, and Williamson Automotive.
We're going to get you that NFL scoreboard like I promised you, but right now, headed to the podium is your winning quarterback today from the Miami Dolphins, one Tyler Snoop Huntley. Dolphins quarterback Tyler Huntley sounded like a cucumber, cool as a. Basically saying with more time, more familiarity, more knowledge, more timing, just time. Time is going to heal the wounds that we've had on this offense. He did look a little more comfortable today. I think the receivers aren't 100% still comfortable with him. You've seen them drop some easier passes. Now, granted, he hasn't thrown perfect passes, but they haven't helped him out. I know Jonnu Smith dropped one, and who else was out there? Jalen Waddle dropped one, and I don't know if that's a familiarity thing, if it's because his passes were a little bit off, but you got to help out your backup quarterback. You have to help out your backup quarterback. They did enough, though. They went deep a couple of times today. They kicked a bunch of field goals. They missed a field goal. They did not convert a lot of third downs. Neither team did. There wasn't a whole lot of offense out there. Offensive lines, both very bad. Lots of holding calls, Vlad. Lots of holding calls. Lots of illegal shifts and just lots of penalties. At first, the Dolphins weren't penalized, and I thought maybe they figured it out, but then, no, it started rearing its ugly head. Two teams that are struggling right now with their discipline and trying to not have penalties. Nonetheless, the Dolphins do get a win, although by possibly just inches. We're getting people texting in right now. 305-567-0560. 561 says, if the foot is coming down, it all has to be in bounds. If they do a toe tap and raise the foot, only need the toe, which is an odd rule.
Whatever, man. Y'all taking this win, man.
Stay by the heel, man. Look, you do what you got to do. Put yourself in that position. You get the win. Dolphins get their second win of the season. They are 2-3, getting the off week. You heard Snoop Huntley didn't say he was going to be relaxing this week.
Yeah, he said he's going to be in the lab, and that's what you want to hear. They just needed to win. And here's the other thing. It's a good feeling for Snoop Huntley, who just got to the team. You know the guys want you to succeed, so they're trying their best. But to get the win in your second week?
Yeah, he's not been here for like 14 days.
Right. This is not Skyler, who's been here for 3 years. So this is his second week. he played better.
Yes, he did look like he had more control.
The offense looked better with him under center, and the running game
looked great.
And you add the fact that he has mobility as well.
He did not run a lot, though.
No, but if he needed to, he did.
I thought he maybe should have ran it a couple of times when he was kind of scrambling outside the pocket.
I don't think he wants to get hurt. I don't
Yeah.
think you want to lose him right now. Like, because put it this way. Say he improves in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks from now, yeah. Which logically would be
You're
something you
3-3.
You're 3-3.
And number one comes back.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now,
at least now you have a legitimate backup quarterback in case number one gets hurt.
Now, Vlad,
Again.
let's go rewind back to the night of that Buffalo game. You and I talked. If I would have said, hey, look, Tua's coming back this season, and when he comes back, the team is going to be 500. You would take that every day.
Twice on Sunday.
Twice on Sunday. And today's Sunday. So you
I'll
take it
take it
twice.
twice.
I mean, you would take that. That's all you ask your quarterback. Get you to 500 and get the man back and still have a lot of the season ahead of you.
The teams in the conference and especially in your division, struggling the same as you are. There is no team, even though Buffalo has your number, okay, and they're still the kings of that division. But say that when you play them in another month, it's a battle for first place.
Could be.
And you have all your weapons and you're healthy. And you prove to teams that you prove to them naysayers that you can win on the road and you could in a hostile environment. Then what? Because that's the thing we've been saying. Even though I know how it feels, my team is going through it right now. But you guys were going through it for the last 3 weeks. The last time you guys were legitimately happy was 8:19 p.m. before the kickoff of the Dolphins-Buffalo game on that Thursday night.
Listen to this. After all the doom and gloom and the misery we've been put through, we're 2-3, tied for second in our division. Guess who else pretty much by the end of the day could possibly be right where we're at 2-3? Los Angeles Chargers, Denver Broncos, Las Vegas Raiders. Could also have the Ravens. Well, the Ravens won. The Bengals are now 1-4. The Browns are 1-4. Colts are 2-3. Who you get next? Titans 1-3. They beat us. The Jaguars get their first win 1-4. There's a lot of good 2-3 teams. The Eagles, the Cowboys could be 2-3 at the end of the day. The 49ers. You're telling me that, oh, we're terrible. It's not the prettiest team, but Mike McDaniel, give him credit. You know what, Vlad? We give credit where credit is due. We gave him a hard time for saying he always says he wants to run the ball. That's his identity, and he never does it. We also said, Mike McDaniel, you don't make any adjustments. The second something odd happens, you look like a deer in the headlights, AKA last year when Tyreek Hill got hurt in the Tennessee Titans game. Today, Mike McDaniel ran the ball, and in the fourth quarter, got hard-nosed football going. He adjusted. Credit where credit is due. I give him credit for what he did today. You can be critical, but you have to give Mike McDaniel credit for this win today. Alec Ingold, a lot of credit. Raheem Mostert, a lot of credit. Jalen Wright, a lot of credit. Just heard from Tyler Huntley, a lot of credit. Oh, yeah, and by the way, the defense, great, unbelievable. Great job. There are two teams that did not have a lot of offense going because, A, their offenses don't have a lot of things going for them right now. We do have a lot of weapons, so I wasn't going to say that. Two teams that have defenses that are rocking and rolling 2-3 into the bye week, and you can only expect Tyler Huntley get more comfortable with his team with more time. Going to get to that NFL scoreboard next here on Gameday Uncensored, 560 WQAM.
WPOW HD2 Miami, WKIS HD2 Boca Raton, an Odyssey Sports Station.
Powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Call 1-800-7473.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Game Day Uncensored Post-Game Edition.
We keep rolling. Don't be stressed. You know what's online.
Recapping the Fins game. Real reaction, real opinions, real talk for real fans.
That sounds amazing.
On AM 560 Sports, WQAM, FM 99.9 HD2, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Game Day Uncensored is sponsored by South Florida Lexus Dealers. Experience amazing by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka on game day. Pour me in, coach. Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac. Make sure your next Cadillac is backed by Morse at Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac. Proud partner of the Miami Dolphins by JM Lexus. At JM Lexus, you'll always get the home team advantage. And by Williamson Automotive. Williamson is Miami.
Winner chicken dinner weekend here in South Florida. Last night, a thriller between the 6th-ranked Miami Hurricanes and the Cal Golden Bears. 39-38. The Hurricanes scored 21 in the fourth quarter and stay undefeated on the season. Today, Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots. Was it a thriller, Vlad?
No.
Okay. Still, a win is a win is a win. 15-10, the Dolphins win. Had some good games on the NFL slate today. Right now, we got some games going on. The Packers are up 7-0 on the Rams at the pretty much beginning of the second quarter. The Rams have no offensive weapons, so good luck. The Giants and the Seahawks are tied at 7 with about 9 minutes left in the second quarter. How you wondering how the Geno Smith is doing? 3 for 6, 25 yards. You want to know Daniel Jones? Watch out. Maybe having the game of his lifetime. Not really. 11 for 12 with 115 yards and a touchdown, though.
Man, no, 11 for 12, you're nearly perfect.
I mean, for Daniel Jones, that's huge, man, because Daniel Jones has not been so great this year. Got another tie ball game in the San Francisco Bay Area. 49ers and the Cardinals tied 10-10. 49ers have not been gangbusters this year. Now, I know they're
Arizona
not
always plays them well for some reason.
You never know what you're going to get. Are you going to get the good Arizona Cardinals, or are you going to get the meh Arizona Cardinals? Kyler Murray, 5 for 9, 70 yards. Brock Purdy, he's gangbusters, 9 for 15, 141 yards, and a touchdown. Got 10 points. It's early in the second quarter. The 49ers did score 10 points in the first quarter. Cardinals came back 7-3. Yeah, you never know with the Cardinals, although they are 1-3. The 49ers are 2-2. Other games that are in progress right now, the Broncos and the Raiders, 10-10. 10-10 Broncos and Raiders. Bo Nix, is he figuring it out? 5 for 8, 45 yards. Gardner Minshew, is he someone you can believe in for the Las Vegas Raiders? I don't know. 10 for 12, 116 yards, 1 touchdown, but 1 interception. Ooh, they got a receiver for the Broncos called Lil Jordan Humphrey.
Yeah.
His name's Lil.
Yeah, he's been known for that.
I know. I'm just, letting you know. He's got some stats. He's playing it out. Other scores around the NFL earlier today in jolly old England, London to be exact. The Vikings went to 5-0 on the season, defeating the Jets 23-17. This one kind of hurt a little bit. You know why? Well, Andrew Van Ginkel.
Oh my God. It was like, oh Jesus.
He's the only player that has 3 sacks on the season and 3 interceptions.
And he returned it
67 yards for a touchdown.
And pretty much that was, even though it was early, that pretty much set the tone for the game.
Aaron Rodgers was running for his life that
Aaron
entire
Rodgers
game.
Looked 40 years old today.
He did look a little old.
He looked old today. But with that being said, they still had a chance to win, and it's the communications with the receivers it's all right. I know it's week 5 now. I know it's but it's no more. You can't say it's early in the season no more. It's gotta get together. It will get together, but it was one of those games, even though your team didn't play well, but they were still in it, and it was still a winnable game. And it might have been a game where you win, and it gives your team more confidence and momentum going in for the rest of the season. But lost by the Jets had helped the Dolphins. Now Dolphins and Jets are tied at 2-3. Patriots are 1-4, and then everybody's one game behind Buffalo, who's 3-2 and lost their second consecutive game this week.
That is the truth.
This season.
Aaron Rodgers looked like he was 40 years old, 29 for 54, 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, yet 3 interceptions. He's going to look like a 40-year-old, but he also still might lead the league in passing yards this year, Vlad.
No, listen, he still can throw the ball when he has
time. It out there.
When he has time, but you know what? This is why I give Coach McDaniel credit. Aaron Rodgers can't. We're not asking him to throw the ball 54 times. I don't think the Jets fans are asking him to throw the ball 54 times. They want him to throw the ball when he has to throw the ball, but they want to run the ball. If you have Breece Hall in your fantasy lineup, you're wondering what the hell's going on with this man, because he hasn't produced at all. And they don't utilize their running back, the rookie from Wisconsin, when they should. You have to run the ball. See what Miami did today? They ran the ball. That fourth quarter, that was
smash mouth.
Oh man, that was football.
We're running it. Stop us. Let's go. Kind of hurts a little bit. Andrew Van Ginkel having an unbelievable season. He signed a 2-year, $20 million contract to reunite with Brian Flores.
Listen, Flores,
we could have gotten him for that.
Flores is going to get another coaching gig because of this stuff. I really do.
Man, I like Andrew Van Ginkel a lot. I thought he was a great player. Shaq Barrett, retired. Those are the types of decisions that hurt you a little bit. But Van Ginkel did sign the contract, but we could have paid him that. We definitely could have paid him that. And Brian Flores, he's the darling now, it seems like, of the NFL defensive coaches. Everyone seemed to be talking about the Vikings. You know, everybody's like, are they for real? Are they not for real? I'll say they're for real. 5-0 stands by itself as they're a team that is for real.
They win. They figure out the ways to win.
That's what the NFL is all about. The Bears. Is Caleb Williams for real all of a sudden? A lot of people said he's undersized. I don't know. Andy Dalton's the real deal. He's going to resurrect the Carolina Panthers. That was 1 week. The Bears destroy the Carolina Panthers. The Bears are 3-2, by the way. Don't look now. 36-10. Caleb Williams, 20 for 29, 304 yards and 2 touchdowns compared to Andy Dalton, 18 for 28. 136 yards and 1 interception. DJ Moore had a big day for the Bears with 5 receptions, 105 yards and 2 touchdowns.
It was the DJ Moore Bowl.
It's true. DJ Moore getting that sweet revenge against the Panthers.
Remember, he was traded for that number 1 pick last year to go to for Carolina to draft Bryce Young.
Sticky situation.
But he got this is great. You got the bag. He got the bag this season.
Got obviously a quarterback that can get him the ball.
He's got a quarterback, a future franchise quarterback. He's in a city, a big time city. He's good. It works out, man. You got to look at things as a positive, as a blessing.
And if you're a Panthers fan, palm to your forehead.
Absolutely. Because you drafted the wrong quarterback.
Speaking of that quarterback that they could have drafted.
In the Stephon Diggs Bowl.
Stephon Diggs looks for his sweet revenge. And in a way, he gets it. The Houston Texans, they win on a last-second field goal over the Buffalo Bills, 23-20. CJ Stroud, he had a couple turnovers. I know in 28-38, 331 yards. One of that was a bomb pass for 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 1 fumble lost. Josh Allen, 9 for 30 with 131 yards and 1 touchdown. You know, they always say that a team takes on the personality of their coach and their quarterback. The Bills truly do take on the personality of Josh Allen. One day, they look like MVP world beaters.
After Monday
the next
night
day,
after Jacksonville, no better. Oh my God, he's the best player. He's the MVP.
Yep.
Everybody that said that he's the most overrated guy, or eating crow. And then what's happened the last 2 weeks?
One play, Josh Allen looks like the greatest quarterback of all time. The next play, you don't even know if he's playing football. That's how bad he does. Nonetheless, Stephon Diggs gets his revenge, 6 receptions, 82 yards. Like I said, Texans are 4-1 now with that 23-20 win over the Buffalo Bills. Once again, giving the Dolphins a little more life. We're 2-3, 1 game behind, although they have a head-to-head win against us. Nonetheless, another one told you about. I like those second overall quarterback picks. Jaden Daniels has been a pleasant surprise. So have the Washington Commanders. Don't look now, Vlad. If I told you Washington and the Cleveland Browns played today, one team would finish the day 4-1. The other team would be 1-4 at the beginning of the season. You'd say, wow, Cleveland started 4-1. Commanders 4-1 behind Jaden Daniels. Cleveland 1-4. Not much help from Deshaun Watson. I don't want to pile on too much. 15 for 28 with 125 yards and 1 touchdown. Jaden Daniels led the team 14 for 25, 238 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He also led the team in rushing, 11 carries for 82 yards.
It's over for Deshaun.
We might have dodged that bullet here in Miami. Really wanted him. I don't know. Doesn't seem like that good. Very interesting game for us Dolphins fans. The Jaguars and the Colts squared off earlier today. Jaguars are lone win. They're also winless going into the game. Colts are next opponent after the bye week. Jaguars get their first win of the season.
So every team's won this so far in the NFL.
Yes, you're not going to have a winless team this year. Jacksonville 37-34. Colts tried to mount a comeback with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco still has those yards, man. 33 for 44, 359 yards and 3 touchdowns. I'll take that.
Joe Flacco is the epitome of a man who doesn't want to spend time with his family.
I love it. I love his style.
I love it, man.
Wait, what? You need me? You need me to what? Take the kids where? No, I got this.
He'd rather hold a clipboard than hold a baby.
When that man gets in the game, he's still got it, man.
And Flacco still can sling it, man. Most quarterbacks can still sling it. Do they still want to take the punishment and punishment and grow through the preparation to be a starting quarterback in this professional?
Trevor Lawrence looked like a professional quarterback today for once. 28 for 34, 371 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. His team gets their first win. Jacksonville, don't get used to that because it's probably not going to happen very, very often. What a great game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals were up for a large part of the game. I thought, okay, this is where Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and those guys, they say, we always start slow. We're starting to make our move. But the only problem is they had to play a Baltimore Ravens team that's darn good.
Hey, for all those people that say, look, Lamar can't pass.
Get out of here. All those Lamar haters, like, quiet. 2 MVPs. Can't beat Patrick Mahomes. Well, you know what? It ain't easy to beat Patrick Mahomes.
26 for 42, 348.
4 touchdowns. Derrick Henry, remember when I said at the end of the game? Remember when I said going into overtime, he only had 30 yards? Finished the day with 15 carries, 92 yards and a touchdown. He had a huge run in overtime.
I needed that.
And also, if you need Joe Burrow on your fantasy team, 30 for 39, 392 yards.
I'm not blaming Joe Burrow.
5 touchdowns.
I'm not blaming Joe Burrow.
1 interception. Also, if you need Jamar Chase on your fantasy team, I'm kind of gaslighting right now. 10 receptions, 193 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The LSU connection. Stat-wise strong, record-wise very weak, 1-4. But that is a 1-4. That remember that loss to Kansas City where they barely lost and kind of outplayed Kansas City. It was a bad loss week 1 against the New England Patriots.
Baltimore right now is 3-2, and they should be 5-0.
They were an inch away from defeating Kansas City
and they
in
had
night
a
1 of the NFL
against
season.
The Raiders and lost.
Yeah, I called that game, by the way.
Jason,
but then again, I always called the Raiders are going to win, so I don't think that helps.
What's their kicker? Tucker. He missed a field goal.
Justin Tucker, the greatest kicker of all time.
Yeah, Justin Tucker, who's no longer the greatest field goal kicker of all time. He can't hit from 50 no more.
Is it Jason Sanders? No.
Justin Tucker can't hit from 50 anymore.
Oh.
But nonetheless, great win for the Ravens. They've won 3 in a row, and they look like they're getting their act together. But I will say this: their defense is not that great anymore. Yeah, the Ravens. You can move the ball on them.
You can. Yeah, I mean, the Bengals 38 points today. Overtime loss, though. Ravens get that win, 41-38. Are you ready for some football? A classic matchup tonight at 8:20 for Sunday Night Football. The Dallas Cowboys versus the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I mean, you can listen to it on 560 WQAM, but I'm not looking for it. It's going to be boring.
You think it's going to be boring? That's a classic matchup. That's a classic.
By the uniforms, but the players aren't there.
Oh, Terry Bradshaw's not playing tonight?
No.
Why isn't he starting?
Dak Prescott versus Justin Fields because Terry's old.
You like that starting matchup right there?
No, I don't. I mean, I like it because it's 2 brother quarterbacks.
Your Sunday prayers, man.
Yeah, Sunday prayers always answered, but still.
For those that don't know, Vlad, tell us what 3 things you pray for every Sunday morning when you go to church.
A Jets win.
Oh, okay. What else?
No black quarterback get hurt, and no black general manager gets fired, no black head coach gets fired. And the black quarterback does very well and gets the win.
Then nobody gets hurt.
Oh, I said nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, so there you go. Then tomorrow night, also, you can listen to it here on 560 WQAM. The Saints and the Chiefs. Once again, are you going to get the good Saints? Or are you going to get the bad Saints? Are you going to get the Kansas City that finds a way to win in the end. I don't want to hear conspiracy theories. Finds a way to win in the end. Or are you going to get Kansas City team that just goes, come on, Saints at home, we got this. Take care of business. Travis Kelce seeming to get back right previous game. We'll wait and see. All we know is today we got it done. Alec Ingold gets the go-ahead game-winning touchdown. 3-yard, I'm not going to call it scamper, but a 3-yard run into the end zone after he did a whole lot of blocking, a whole lot of the game.
I love the call. Fullback dive. That's an old Madden play for the Genesis days in PlayStation 1 and 2. But the old fullback dive, it was old school. I love that, bro. Shout out to Mike McDaniel for putting ego to the side for this week or for that quarter.
For that
quarter. And just running the ball.
Look, he adjusted. I give him credit. He realized here's a path to win. Let's, as you and I say oftentimes, Vlad, muck it up. Let's get physical. They ran the ball. They were effective. They scored. They won. They realized they had basically their 4th-string quarterback in there. An offensive line did enough. A team that they were playing that didn't have a lot of offensive prowess. Your defense doing good. Hey, he realized we need a touchdown to win this game. And Vlad, you heard me and you and I were talking. I had no confidence that Jacoby Brissett or the Patriots were going to drive down and score.
No, but they were driving down and scoring. I mean, they converted on a 4th and 10.
Yeah, but they needed a touchdown, not a field goal. That's what made me
that
very
was
confident.
that was, and you know what? Shout out to Mike McDaniel again for going and taking the 3. Listen, coaches, on the road, take the points. It was a 4th and 1, and I know his ego, and I know there's people in the station that was like, he's not the same Mike McDaniel. He's not going for 4th down. No, sometimes and what we said earlier, when your game plan, when your conviction is not working, it's all right to alter it at times.
Yep.
It's all right to adjust. He decided not to go for it, because imagine you go for it and you get stopped.
Also, you got a
Momentum's
4th-string quarterback and offensive line that's held together by bubblegum and chicken wire. So yeah, go ahead and take the points.
So take the points, and he made it 10-9, and then what happened? They scored, and then it was a 15-9 game. And I mean, obviously they went to it's 15-10 game. Obviously they went for 2. They didn't get it. But
you had to go for 2 at that
taking the points was important
but
there.
I don't believe in going for it. I believe in taking the points until you have to do something different, until you're forced to have to go for a touchdown or whatever. Just keep compiling points. And then in the 4th quarter, let the situation dictate what you do there. I'm always a big believer in that. Call me a safe guy, and I'm not a riverboat gambler, and I'm not a riverboat gambler. Call me a stick in the mud. I believe in it, especially when you got a 4th-string quarterback. And like I said, a ticker tape parade as a offensive line. It's really easy to walk through and get through. Take the points, get the points. Jason Sanders, just make the field goals. And Aaron Brewer took a little bit of a step back today with some of his snaps, but it seems like Tyler Huntley was off a little bit a couple times too with snaps. It wasn't a pretty day, but it was a pretty win. Pretty result. Ugly day, pretty result. 15-10, Miami Dolphins win. Going to hear from Mike McDaniel and keep it going with this Dolphins victory party right here on Game Day Uncensored 560 WQAM.
Game Day Uncensored, post-game edition on AM 560 Sports, WQAM, FM 99.9 HD2, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Sponsored by South Florida Lexus Dealers, Tito's Handmade Vodka, Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac, JM Lexus, and Williamson Automotive.
Dolphins get a big win today, 15-10. They are one game, sort of, out of first place in the AFC East, right behind the Buffalo Bills, who do have the head-to-head win matchup. But nonetheless, they are tied for second with the New York Jets, who lost to the Minnesota Vikings earlier today in London by 6 points. You're 2-3 if you're the Dolphins now. You had a grinded-out 15-10 win over interdivision rival New England Patriots, and now you get a week off, and then you go play an Indianapolis team that isn't all that great. Not a very great team, at least not right now. They lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars earlier today, handing the Jacksonville Jaguars their first win of the season. Coach Mike Daniel wanted to give him credit. He got back to his roots, as he says, running the ball, and he made an adjustment. At the end of the game, he saw a path to victory by running, and he ran the ball. He is going to the podium, and he is going to be addressing the media. The first question he received was kind of your general thoughts about the game that was just played.
No, I think this was a cool game for our team, because you know what it usually takes to be able to beat the Patriots is the type of game that I thought our team really needed, in terms of winning when everything isn't great, winning when there's a ton of frustrating things that happen during a game, and leaning into what we've really learned to be a strength of our team, which is the defense, and again another valiant effort. It was a big deal. It's been 24 days since the Buffalo game, and in the NFL, losing streaks are real. They're not fun, and so for the team to have to find a way to overcome a lot of sloppiness that wasn't to do with intent or preparation, but things that we have to clean up in our game, and to be able to still find a way. It feels great. You kind of knew it was going to be a game like this, but you want to see your team take steps forward, and I thought we did today.
Both Wright and most cleared 80 rushing yards today. Was that the plan throughout the week, to be that ground heavy, especially after the injury to Devon?
Yeah, I think we had been disappointed with what we've produced on the ground just in general. So it was a huge point of emphasis to really hone in on our fundamentals and technique. And to the credit of the offensive line, they punched some holes, and I think the running back room was ready to put the team on their back, so to speak. I think having Raheem back was awesome. It was unfortunate to lose Devon for sure, and then you saw a rookie, play some snaps where you can feel his confidence just being established. So it was the plan was to be able to go toe to toe and win any way you need to, and I think that was the main objective, and the led by the captains, and I think they did a really phenomenal job of keeping everyone's headspace correct, and it was very fitting that one of our newly minted captains this year, Alec Ingold, scored the touchdown, because he was a heavy part of the run game production this week for sure.
That final drive showed a physical presence running the ball that we really haven't seen much of.
Yeah, I think that when I say the game we're looking for, we're not looking to be frustrated, but you have some frustrating points during the course of the game and nobody cares. And so then you have a 17-play drive to get your first touchdown of the day. That's something that, I think when you're talking about your football team and the types of games you want to win, that's very similar to, November, December football, that where certain weeks you got to strap up and be able to win the line of scrimmage and do it down in, down out. So I think that's a huge piece of the puzzle to me, that we weren't measured in our words to each other in team settings this week. We challenged each other to be able to win a game like that, just in general, and not have to have super explosive plays to win a football game. And I think that's what I'm really proud of, is that I know what it takes for our team in particular that has high ambitions to put together a 17-play drive at the end of the game. And that means you're staying locked in regardless of result during the course of it. So that's something we can build upon as we clean up the layers of things we have to clean up.
For special teams today, but overall, I think it's 11 penalties now season from that unit. How will that unit be evaluated?
Yeah, very critically. I think you have to assess the common denominators. You have to, the thing I was proud of is you have several things that don't go your way. You hit a post and you have a snap that you wish you could have back. But, I think that we were able to get, several very crucial points after that. So the resolve, you don't want to have to test your resolve every week. But that was an important piece. And then, you give up a blocked punt, but then, had complete faith that would get corrected and that would be able, with the game on the line, to get New England to burn their timeouts and trotted that same unit back out there. So those are things to build upon, and they're much easier to do in the win column. I think that gives you the opportunity to really assess the common denominators, because that's what you're trying to find. If a lot of times penalties come, from particularly offensively and really in all three phases. Sometimes penalties can occur because people are trying too hard to own the responsibility, and they're leveraged or edged, and then you hold, or you or you're really all three phases of that same thing can occur. So I'm careful or judicious with looking at like full sail. It has to be better to continue to win football games, and so you have to find some resolution, and that will come through collective study and effort by our coaching staff, and then applied to the players as we do across the board. Yeah, just coming off the field, we'll be evaluating those in the next couple of days. I do know that Devon was out with a head injury that I believe to be a concussion, so he'll be in the protocol, and then we'll check out what the extent of that is. Which fortunately we have a bye week, so we have some time to figure that stuff out.
Speaking of bye week, what does this week mean for Tyler Huntley being able to stay in the classroom, stay in the lab without having to go play a game?
It's huge. You're playing catch up the whole time that you're playing football, and you're knowing your responsibilities. You're knowing what the past concepts are, and now you have a chance to study. Really the strengths and weaknesses of certain things for him to play convicted. I think it's going to be huge for him just to have things settle down, because you don't really have time for much when you're just jumping in the NFL work week. You have to orchestrate a lot of moving parts, and I thought he did a good job handling all that. He's done a phenomenal job really since he's been here, but it was a step forward today for sure. So that we were executing a no huddle play, and he was communicating to the line of scrimmage and communicating to the offensive line what the play was. And then after he did that, he was communicating to the Z receiver, and Brew thought he heard the cadence. So he, which Snoop hadn't given any sort of indicator of a cadence, but he thought he heard one, so he snapped it, which is why it was a gigantic negative, moving the ball pretty well, but it was one of the 3 drives in the first half that you felt like you should have points in some way, shape, or form on that drive, hoping to convert and get in the red zone and score a touchdown. So that was part of the things that we got in our own way, which is why it's that you can clean those up all day, but for our team, we needed to find a way to win a football game, with that adversity right in our face, which is what I was happy about.
Alec used the word to describe Tyler Snoop's performance, command. How much of a sense for his command of this offense can you get when he's not on the field? Like, do you get to interact with him on the sideline? Like, can you hear coaches report back to you about what they see from him, or what's your understanding?
Absolutely. I can tell by the conviction with the other 10 people coming out the huddle. When you're in a huddle and people have conviction and ownership and command of the huddle, you see people leave with certainty from the huddle. And then on top of that, every single play, his technique and fundamentals, I think, I'm connected with. So when after the ball is snapped, whatever coverage is presented, you have an idea where the ball should go, and you're watching his technique through to the defensive structure. And, I can tell, all week that he was going to operate in a high fashion, but I could feel during the game simply through his teammates and how they're approaching each play, even if it was a run. And it was with conviction to the line of scrimmage on almost every snap. I think we did have one pre-snap motion penalty, but beyond that, that was much improved from the week before.
Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel saying what's pretty obvious: a little more familiarity and time. Tyler Huntley is becoming more of a leader and more familiar and more comfortable with this offense, and the offense did look a little bit more like it was in its groove today. Might I remind you, Mike McDaniel now as a head coach, 4-1 against the New England Patriots. His only loss came back January 1st, 2023 at Gillette Stadium, 23-21. Of course, Skylar Thompson was a quarterback that game. Dolphins finding ways to grit it out. Maybe we see some more running. I was very proud of Raheem Mostert because I don't think he's 100% healthy, but he was out there running, man. He was out there putting his head down.
He made a big difference.
He made a huge difference. He was a catalyst for this team. Another guy who made a big difference. We're going to hear from him in a little while. But next, want to hear from you. 305-567-0560. You can call in. We'll take your call. We'll also take your text. We'll get your comments on the YouTube and Twitch. How are you feeling after a quote-unquote big 15-10 win for for your Miami Dolphins over the New England Patriots. We'll hear that next here on Game Day Uncensored, 560 WQAM.
For more Game Day Uncensored, post-game edition on AM 560 Sports, WQAM, FM 99.9 HD2, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Sponsored by South Florida Lexus Dealers, Tito's Handmade Vodka, Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac, JM Lexus, and Williamson Automotive.
Somewhere out there, Chase Daniels, Jeff Hostetler, Frank Reich are smiling. Maybe not so much Frank Reich, but the backup quarterback, as we are becoming very aware of, becoming more and more valuable in today's NFL. Tyler Hunter comes in and wins a game for the Dolphins today, 15-10. I'm sorry?
You said
Huntley.
Yeah,
Tyler
you said,
Huntley.
You said Hunter.
He's another backup quarterback that we hadn't activated yet. Tyler Huntley, as a backup, comes in and wins a game for the Dolphins. In fact, this year, the 4 teams we played, half of them have pretty much had backup quarterbacks. Week 1, Trevor Lawrence starter. Week 2, Josh Allen starter. But then week 3, Mason Rudolph. And then Jacoby Brissett, for the most part, has been a backup most of his career.
Yeah, but he was named starter.
He was named starter. But looking around the league at all the backups that are doing things, the Jets earlier today, of course, they do have Aaron Rodgers. They played all last season with backup quarterbacks. The Vikings are 5-0 with Sam Darnold as their backup quarterback. Panthers, they have their backup quarterback in there, Andy Dalton. They got beat by the Bears. The Bears have their rookie in there. The Browns and the Commanders, they have their starters in there. Colts, Joe Flacco.
Had a great game.
They beat the Jaguars. Once again, it's Trevor Lawrence. The Bills and the Texans, they have their starting quarterbacks in there. The Ravens and the Bengals have their starting quarterbacks. Raiders is Gardner Minshew. He was named starter. Bo Nix, starter. 49ers, Brock Purdy. Cardinals.
That started.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, but there's decent. Green Bay Packers played a part of the season with Malik Willis and won some games. So it can be done. The backup quarterback become more and more valuable. We know that, especially now with the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa could be back sooner than later, it seems like. And we are 2-3 sitting there right now.
It is better to be 2-3 than 1-4 and thinking you should even decide to return.
Yeah. We said it all in the offseason too about Jalen Phillips. You and I said, look, come back when you're healthy 100%. Now, I'm not saying that, his Achilles led to his knee, but he just seemed like he came back so quickly. And I was like, I just hope he doesn't come back and get hurt. And he came back and got hurt. But nonetheless, you're hoping Tua due diligence doesn't just try to get back because he wants to prove that he doesn't have concussion problems and all this stuff. Make sure he's 100% healthy and ready to play and safe to play. And then we'll, talk about bringing him back. But it looks like he'll be back for that Cardinals game. He's going to be off IR. And they say that he's passing every test. And there are, quote unquote, no symptoms. Got a winnable game in 2 weeks from today against the Indianapolis Colts. I don't know who's going to be quarterback.
Kuzan,
who do you want to be quarterback?
If you ask Miami Dolphins after this, like you said, after the Tua concussion, that you have a chance after your bye week to be 3-3 and go
get to a back
2-2. You went 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because you lost to the Seahawks and you lost to the
Titans.
But you beat the Patriots and then you beat the Colts. So if you finish 2-2 after Tua's injury, and you were going to be already before Tua's injury, you were going to be upset with the loss to Buffalo because once again they treated you like children.
They owned you.
They're your own. Yeah, they're your daddies, and your quarterback didn't play well. So that was the thing. Then Tua got concussed. So it was more concerned about his health, his condition, his livelihood, and what's going to happen with the rest of the remainder of the season. Now you have a chance to go 500, and I could say literally 2-1 with Tyler Huntley, who just got to Miami.
Right.
So if you're 3-3, go into that Arizona game.
You start getting healthier.
And that's a home game, so you don't think that crowd at Hard Rock Stadium is not going to be juiced?
Mm-hmm.
And your guys are starting to get healthy.
Yes.
Armstead came back the week before the bye.
Right.
Usually you might have just held them to after the bye and get him so that he has 2 weeks off. But
Odell Beckham Jr.
came
back before the bye.
6 days of practice. 4 days of practice? He had 21 days. before he needed to be activated.
Kendall Fuller comes back from concussion protocol. Even hurts. It looks like he hurt his shoulder a little bit.
Holland
came back in the game. John Holland now hurt. Now you got Devon
you got
Achane.
2 weeks.
You got 2 weeks. That's
Devon
right.
Achane, he has 2 weeks to recover from his concussion.
It sounds like perfect timing for the Dolphins, to be honest.
It sounds like, okay, you're going to be upset if your team loses 3 in a row.
Yes, no matter what.
And then with what happened with your quarterback. But like I've been saying, and even Mike McDaniel said it, it's been a month since the fan base have seen a win to be happy about.
Yeah. Enjoy it.
Most Dolphin fans are Canes fans. If you told them that in less than 16 hours, they would see a 22-point comeback.
Huge comeback, yes.
In the fourth quarter.
21 points in the fourth.
21 points in the fourth, of 21-point comeback in the fourth, and a Miami Dolphin comeback in the fourth quarter, and you get victories, they would all be happy.
Give it to me, I'd say.
So,
look, when Tua went down, people were around here saying doom and gloom, punt on the season. I said, hold up. It doesn't mean the end of the season. Look what Joe Flacco did last year with the Browns. And I harken back, of course, to my days with the Saints. Drew Brees goes down. For 5 weeks, Teddy Bridgewater won all 5 games, went 5-0. So it's not over by any stretch of the imagination. This season is not over. So when the people were saying punt on the season, I know they had their reasons. You can't punt on seasons, especially early in the season. Like you said, Vlad, 3-3, possibly getting Tua back. Now you have to win the game next week.
and you look at the division.
And you're right where you need to be.
You look at your division, nobody, it's like, nope. But that's what we do. And that's what the media needs, because that's how they garner ratings and attention and traffic. So when everybody's saying it was early in the season, that's what we kept on saying, because you know what? We've been here before.
Yeah.
Can we drive up the panic? Can we do that?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely we can. We're behind the mic, we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you just think about it, you really want to be, not about being right or wrong, it's just about being fair. It's still early. This is a team that's gone to the playoff the last 2 seasons. This is a team that when they get their act together is one of the most dangerous, if not the most dangerous offense in the league, and a new defense that over the last couple of weeks, actually the last 5 games, the first 5 games, they've been improving every week.
They've been on the field. They've been fighting. They've been on the field a lot.
Every week. Don't let the final score of certain games think that the defense was being. They played very well against Tennessee. They played very well against Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And
played well today.
They really, other than the running game, because the run defense wasn't good against Buffalo. It wasn't like Josh Allen was killing you guys like they usually do.
He was making timely passes. It was timely,
but also turnovers by the Dolphins and mistakes by the Dolphins gave Buffalo short field position that allowed them to win. But nonetheless, why to feel good? Was the performance great? No.
But you know what Mama always said? It's not where you start, it's where you finish. This Dolphins team, they seem like they have a little bit of a running identity now. They seem like they've got a pretty tough defense. They might be getting some people back. They might be in the thick of things. Didn't they say all along this year we need to be bullies? We need to be dogs. We need to be tough. Seems like they're getting kind of tough. They might just be right where they need to be at the end of this season.
Nobody's running away. Well, maybe for the exception of the 2-time defending champs, but even they don't look.
Never do.
They don't. But you know what they do? They find ways to win. And that's what good teams do. Even when they're struggling, even if they're going through a little slump, sooner or later, they look at themselves in the mirror, hold each other accountable, and be like, okay, you know what? We got to get to work. We got to get dirty to win. We got to get dirty to win. That was a dirty win, and I like it.
I want to ask you this, Vlad, and then we'll go to break. Who do you think feels better right now? Dolphins fans with that kind of disgusting 15-10 win of the Patriots, or Bengals fans who scored 38 points, went to overtime, but lost to the Ravens?
I know what. It better be the Dolphin fans.
It is Dolphins fans.
It would be the Dolphins fans, because doesn't matter.
Does not matter.
As long as that there's not a crooked number on the right hand of the column, that's under the L column, as long as that doesn't increase, but the win column increase, I'm happy. I don't care if it was a 2-0 game.
But the Colts
figured out a way to win.
We lost a shootout. We scored 34 points with our backup.
Yeah, and your defense stunk. You know what I saw in today's game? I saw an offense that we're under a quarterback who just got there, was able to move the ball on the road against a pretty good defense. A defense that shut down that team that scored 38 points that you just mentioned in week 1.
15-10 win doesn't look so bad after all.
No, it doesn't. No, and it shouldn't.
Up next, we're going to get to our JM Lexus player of the game. Then we're going to hear from the man himself. That is on Game Day Uncensored 560 WQAM.
Uncensored, post-game edition.
We keep rolling. Don't be stressed. You know what's online.
Recapping the Fins game. Real reaction, real opinions, real talk for real fans.
That sounds amazing.
On AM 560 Sports, WQAM, FM 99.9 HD2, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Gameday Uncensored is sponsored by South Florida Lexus Dealers. Experience amazing by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's Handmade Vodka on game day. Pour me in, coach. Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac. Make sure your next Cadillac is backed by Morse at Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac. Proud partner of the Miami Dolphins by JM Lexus. At JM Lexus, you'll always get the home team advantage. And by Williamson Automotive. Williamson is Miami.
Seems like for 2 years now, fans have been clamoring for Mike McDaniel to run the ball. And that's exactly what he did today, especially in the fourth quarter. When Mike McDaniel wanted to run the ball, who did he turn to? Turned to Alec Ingold, the fullback, for some great blocking and a touchdown run. It's time for our JM Lexus Player of the Game. At JM Lexus, it's the perfect time to catch the deal you've been waiting for. As the Golden Opportunity sales event continues, don't miss your opportunity to score even more now at JM Lexus. Alec Ingold, stats don't say it all. 1 rush, 3 yards, 1 touchdown, but the blocking was fantastic. He left it all on the field in the 15-10 win for the Miami Dolphins, and he did get the game's only Dolphins touchdown, and it was the go-ahead touchdown. After the game, of course, Alec Ingold stepped to the podium, and he got his kudos.
Yeah, it's any fullback dive might be the day one install for every offense in America, high school to Pee Wee, Pop Warner, everything. So it was cool to end a 17-play drive like that. It's a credit to offense line. I didn't have to do anything, right? Center, left guard, watch their guys. They climbed up to the linebackers. So for a 2-yard run to cap a statement drive is something that we needed desperately as a team to score a touchdown at that moment. It was a team drive. It was a team touchdown. So I think it's really a testament to all of our work over the last month or so, trying to get back right. So it was a long drive capped off by a nice touchdown. Yeah. I mean, I think it goes back to trusting things. We were running the ball quite a bit in the first half, whether it's a penalty here or a little procedural thing there. It kind of got us off track. We get 4-yard runs, 6-yard runs, but we trusted each other, coaching staff, all the way down to the players. Doing your 111th, that's all that a running game is a full team playing all 4 quarters. And I don't think, like you said, we haven't seen that quite yet out of our team. It's something that we're working on. It's our process that we're building towards. So to see a 17-play drive in the fourth quarter when we needed it, I think was pretty cool for our entire process, for our entire organization to go through that together.
Even on that drive, you came through holding penalties. It seemed like that was sort of a theme of the day of mistakes. And how frustrating was it up until that point?
Yeah, I think those things were really tightening the screws detail-wise in our work weeks. We know that that's not acceptable. It's not up to the standard. So when it happens on Sundays, that moment of frustration, you have another play to make. And Tyreek being able to run and convert on like a 2nd and 20, right, is huge for our offense to keep us on track. So those plays where we're used to the big touchdowns and the celebrations, just as big and just as important is getting back on track for our offense right now and being able to go to that next play to overcome some of the things that we're shooting ourselves in the foot with right now. So I think that, again, it was a full team win to be able to overcome those issues that we all are dealing with, that we all know we need to tighten up. I think is a part of our journey, and I think those are the pieces of adversity that we're trying to overcome as a team. I mean, yeah, I think you're a couple plays away from a win or a loss in somewhat of a sloppy execution game, you could say. And being able to validate that the process and we're building towards something. You see glimpses on tape week in and week out, and then you have the results of a loss. It can sting. It's frustrating. It's demoralizing. It's tough. And then when you get that win, you're able to say, okay, we're on the right track. We're building towards something right, but it's not good yet. It's not good enough yet. So that little tweak in that mindset, fighting to find that silver lining, I think is extremely important for our team going into a bye week 2 and 3, to be able to right the ship, to continue to cross the T's and dot the I's and make sure we're a better football team at the end of the season than we started.
I looked up a few. I wasn't looking at everything, so that you should be blocking more on that. I don't know more, but you were blocking a lot on that.
So, yeah, I wasn't expecting it either. But I think it's cool to be able to find some sort of groove as an offensive flow of an offense. I think that's what we've been chasing. And to be in the flow of a game, of a drive, of a series, of a season, I think is extremely important to find. And we've had that. We've had moments in the past couple of years that I've been here, finding that flow, and everything works. Doesn't matter what the play call is. And I think that was a little glimpse of what it can be. And we just got to fight to continue to find that flow in the game, within a play, to be able to execute over and over again. Yeah, I think Jalen Wright definitely stepped up big. One of his biggest runs of the day was called back because of a holding call. And to see him not blink, to be able to go back and convert on a first down, later in that same drive, I think was really cool to see. Raheem to come back and to be able to play physical. You see him, he's the fastest guy on the team, one of the fastest guys on the team. And to be able to run in yards after contact and push that pile, it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but 2nd and 3 is a whole heck of a lot better than 2nd and 8. And to be able to find those creases, I think both of those guys played really hard, really physical. And it was really cool to see them flourish in the fourth quarter like that.
What's he like in the huddle, especially in a guy having situation like
his personality was coming out in a number of different ways, and I loved it. It's more than just a play call, right? And as a quarterback, when you get a little bit more comfortable, he's been here a couple weeks now, to be able to see his little impacts, his little points of emphasis in the huddle, being able to make guys lock in on their assignments and details, and understanding the circumstance of the game. I think that was really cool. For Snoop to be able to do that for our offense, because that's what a leader is. And he's coming in a very tough spot as a quarterback, and to be able to have command, to be able to find that confidence to voice himself, and for guys to listen and respect that was everything that you could hang your hat on for this offense right now, just battling.
There's a word that you said, there's a command. Quarterback's got to have that. Was there a point, whether it was maybe even last week or just today, was there a point where you and the rest of that offensive huddle could really feel that command coming in and that grasp for this offense?
I think it was in the second half, and to understand that we were going through adversity, like mishaps, things that we can't control. Whether it was a wild snap, a blocked punt, misfield. We had all those things happening in the first half. And to be able to have that confidence and command to say, no matter what happened, we can't control that. We can control this right now. That was pretty special to see, because anybody can have command when it's all going good. But when you're playing from behind, when it's gritty like that, when you got to get a couple first downs to string along a drive and have command while it's not going well, I think that was the biggest respect that Snoop got from all of us.
Fullback Alec Ingold saying Tyler Huntley growing more and more comfortable with this team, and you're going to see more and more good results. He's also saying this is a gritty team. We're not a finesse team anymore. That's why Alec Ingold is our JM Lexus player of the game at JM Lexus. It's the perfect time to catch the deal you've been waiting for. As the Golden Opportunity sales event continues, don't miss your opportunity to score even more now at JM Lexus. Going to take a break, come back, kind of dive in deep with some of the stats, and we'll get you a scoreboard later on this hour. This is Game Day Uncensored on 560 WQAM.
We've made it easy to listen to WQAM. Just download the free Odyssey app to listen to all of our shows live or on demand. Plus, there's the cool rewind feature where you can listen to any part of any show you might have missed anytime. Get it now and make WQAM your favorite station.
For more Game Day Uncensored, Postgame Edition on AM 560 Sports, WQAM, FM 99.9 HD2, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Sponsored by South Florida Lexus Dealers, Tito's Handmade Vodka, Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac, JM Lexus, and Williamson Automotive.
With about 12 minutes left in the game, I wrote down, we're a field goal kicking team. 12 minutes to go. Let's go. What did the Dolphins do? They went on basically a 7.5-minute drive, mostly on the ground. That culminated with Alec Ingold's 3-yard touchdown run, the only touchdown for the Dolphins of the game. 4:24 left on the clock. The Dolphins were up 15-10. At that point, I said, I don't think New England's got another touchdown in them. Maybe a field goal. They actually got into range twice. Almost caught a touchdown, but was ruled out of bounds, incomplete, and the Dolphins win 15-10. Not the most beautiful game you're ever going to see. Total yards, 372 total yards for the Dolphins. Patriots didn't even crack 300, 297. Passing yards, 179 for the Dolphins, 148 for the Patriots. Rushing yards, 193 total rushing yards for the Dolphins. That's what I'm talking about. 149 for the Patriots, and yards per play, 5 yards per play for the Dolphins and 5.4 yards per play for the New England Patriots. Dolphins can say, hey, we have basically our fourth string quarterback in. We've had a lot of injuries. We're having some trouble offensively. The Patriots don't really have that much of an excuse. Their only option is to say we need to play Drake May, because Jacoby Brissett was safe to say, he was a game manager. He has been, at least this year. Although his offensive line might be you and I, Vlad, blocking.
Yeah, I mean, they lost Mark Andrews, and they're starting a lot of two rookies at the tackle position. So yeah, I understand why they don't want Drake May to get killed so early in his career.
Yeah, it's easy as a fan base to say he's a number 3 overall pick. What are we doing? Why are we wasting our time? Let's get him in there. Yeah, you watch that, and that could do some serious damage, not just to his body, but to his psyche for a 21-year-old quarterback out of North Carolina. You might want to ease him in when you got a bunch of guys that you're signing off the practice squad to do some blocking for him. 305-567-0560 is the number to call if you would like to call in, have your say. Also, if you'd like to text in, let's go to the phone lines, 305-567-0560. Jerry in Davie. Jerry, what's happening?
Hey, Gameday, how are you, sir?
Oh, feeling good with the W.
Yeah, feeling good. Now, I was just listening to what you were saying about we're a field goal kicking team, and hey, we finally got it together. Got a little nervous on that last play. I thought they were going to pull it off with the time ran out, which is wonderful. Real quick, I wanted to say I went to the Downtowner for my birthday. They're shutting down.
Today's the last day. R.I.P.
Oh, today's the last day. Oh, man, yeah. I think I went to one of your trivia nights over there. It was wonderful. So, hey, happy Sunday, and we'll see you soon, sir.
Okay, Jerry, thank you so much. Jerry, like a lot of other Dolphins fans, saying, although I was confident, and Vlad, for the most part, was confident that New England didn't have a touchdown in him to win the game. So, when you're a fan of a team, you can't just say, no, we got this. Pretty confident. Jacoby Brissett. How you going to let Vanilla Ice get you? You know what I mean. You've seen 8 Mile. That's what I call anybody that's not like a superstar. How you going to let Vanilla Ice get you? Can't let Jacoby Brissett walk off on you, man. Dolphins, look, they got a new identity now. They're runners. They're a running
They got
team.
a new identity.
I'm going to say they've got a new identity, at least for now.
I just thought that you see the importance of number 31 in that offense.
Oh,
he
made a huge difference
of what having a running game and establishing a running game. And that's every team in the league. That's you know what I mean?
Isn't it funny when we say, man, old school football, run the ball, play defense. Nowadays, it's totally different. And it's like, no, it's not.
Well, if you look at the stats, there's more rushing yards than there are passing yards. And if you rush the ball, that means you're controlling the trenches. And if you're controlling the offensive line, the trenches, that means you're also controlling the clock. And if you're controlling the clock, that means the defense is on the field for a long time while your defense is rested on the sideline. And you saw in that fourth quarter, after that 17-play drive, you saw that defense was They were very excited. You saw that. Any deflection, movement, about any penalty, they were all into it. Why? They finally were playing with a lead and with a chance to win. 3 weeks. It's been, he said, it's been what? September 12th.
Yep. Almost a month, calendar month.
September 12th. We're October 8th. It's nearly one calendar month since the Dolphins have won. And like I said, Dolphin fans were not happy. Haven't been happy since 8:19 p.m. on a Thursday night prior to the kickoff of the Buffalo-Miami game. Since then, it's not been good news. You've had injuries. You don't know the status of your quarterback, and everybody's playing doctor. Everybody thinks they're Trapper John MD or Dr. Oz or whatever fictional known doctor there is. Everybody wants to play WebMD, and we don't know. But what we're coming to understand is that number one wants to play.
Mm-hmm.
The season's not lost. And everybody that you thought or were expected or presumed to be better or greater than you are all in the same situation with you. And guess what? They're playing with their starters and their stars, and they're struggling, i.e. Cincinnati, i.e. my Jets, i.e. Baltimore, even though Baltimore has won 3 in a row.
You could say the Bills the past 2 weeks.
The Buffalo Bills, they went from everybody's Super Bowl favorite, Josh Allen MVP favorite, to now what's going on with Buffalo. And if they lose to the Jets on Monday night in week 6, they will be 500, and you'll only be a half game out.
So you're saying with all this doom and gloom we've gone through this season, from Tyreek Hill getting arrested before the season even started, to barely beating Jacksonville, to finally getting a lead this season.
That's what one
today.
win does, bro. Nothing makes you everything that happened 6 days ago, 12 days ago,
concussions,
18 days ago,
Mike McDaniel,
26 days ago is done.
After all that, Vlad, you're 2-3.
Right.
You have a bye week.
Right.
You have the Indianapolis Colts, who aren't world beaters.
See what a win does.
And then possibly Tua Tagovailoa coming back. And, oh, yeah, by the way, you're only a game out of first place in your division.
That's what a win does. Because when you win and everybody else in your division loses, that means you gain a game on everyone. And guess what? When you look at the standings, yes, it's a 1-game lead, really 2, because Buffalo beat you first game of the season. But
so you'll admit that maybe it was a little premature Monday night to say punt on the season. Trade Tyreek, trade Waddle, trade Tua, fire
easy.
Chris Greer,
Like I
fire
said,
Mike McDaniel.
It's great dialogue for the radio. It's great dialogue for the TV networks. It's great dialogue, but when it's not great for those 53 gentlemen at Hard Rock Stadium.
It's not true.
And it's not true. They don't. We always want to say, "Oh, let's tank for." They don't play to lose, bro. They don't.
No,
they do not.
That's silly. When people are like, "Well, why wouldn't the coach be in on the tank job?" That's his job. He's not going to say, "Okay," because you know what the first thing they're going to do when they rebuild.
Listen, Manu _6. It was yes, it was a crappy game.
Yeah, nobody's saying that it was one of the great games of all time.
Right, nobody's saying that, but you just got to win the game. It doesn't matter. You know what? I bet you would. I know it's not the Super Bowl, but you don't care if it was in the postseason. You win 3-0. Just win in advance.
What was that nasty Super Bowl New England won against the Rams? When the final score
13-3?
Yeah.
And he
you know what?
Touchdown late.
Whoo, I bet you holding that trophy felt nice at the end.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Just get the W and win. Like I said, I've never heard anything. I've never heard of an award for a beautiful loss.
Ask Leroy Horde how that beautiful season he had one year, where by far the Minnesota Vikings were the
15-1, right?
One of the best teams I've ever seen. They didn't even make it to the Super Bowl. That still hurts him.
Ask Leroy.
Ask him how that is.
Ask Leroy, would he trade his kicker missing a field goal in the regular season, his first field goal in the regular season, and then being perfect after that, or missing his first field goal in the postseason? That's what happened. So
it's elevated players like Eli Manning, who had basically a 500 record in the regular season, to most people pretty much saying he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I mean, people say he probably will get into the Hall of Fame.
I mean, yeah.
He did it in New York, and he did it twice.
Yeah, and gets the perfect season, Patriots, and then the Patriots.
Again.
Yeah, being Brady twice.
I'm telling you, it doesn't matter how you get there. It's that you got there. I said, if you're Indianapolis right now, you are not celebrating a 3-point loss, even though you scored a ton of points with your backup quarterback.
No, Cincinnati's not happy scoring 38 points and having a chance to win the game and missing a field goal.
Everyone knows I'd rather win 3-0 and ugly than lose 88-89. Well, you scored a ton of points. You did that.
And I also gave up a ton of points.
Yeah, I hate myself because I lost. Oh, but you only won 3-0. Yeah, we didn't give up a point and we got a field goal. We won. Good night. Got that win. Going to do some other scores next. Got you a scoreboard here on Game Day Uncensored 560 WQAM.
Have you downloaded the free Odyssey app and made WQAM your favorite station? Do it. Listen to us live or on demand and use the rewind feature to go back and listen to any part of any shows you might have missed.
For more Game Day Uncensored, Postgame Edition on AM 560 Sports, WQAM, FM 99.9 HD2, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Sponsored by South Florida Lexus Dealers, Tito's Handmade Vodka, Edmore Sawgrass Cadillac, JM Lexus, and Williamson Automotive.
Dolphins win, Dolphins win, Dolphins win. Beat rival New England Patriots 15-10. A late touchdown by a fullback, Alex Ingold. The difference. You know, Vlad, I'm jealous of the Green Bay Packers, who we're going to be playing Thanksgiving night. Do you know why I'm jealous of the Green Bay Packers? Why? A couple of reasons. Number one, this Jordan Love. Let me tell you, I love watching him because he'll make a play that is as boneheaded and as like, what in the hell was he thinking? And then he will put it on you. He was basically got a safety in the end zone, but decided to throw it away, and it became a pick six. And it looked at that point like he has no clue what's going on. And then he just comes back and throws 2 touchdowns back to back, and Green Bay leads 24-13. You know another reason why I'm very jealous of the Green Bay Packers?
Why is that?
Their fan base has not had to worry about who's under center since 1992. 22 years now, Vlad. They've just sat back and never had to worry about the quarterback situation for the most part. Even Malik Willis comes in this year and wins. Man, I want that.
I hear you.
Since 1992. I'm not going to go through the line of succession of quarterbacks because, you know who they are.
Yeah, Favre, Rodgers, and Love.
Right. I mean, yeah, you know. Man, that Jordan Love, he can get hot. 24-13, and he could score quick. He is great quarterback, and happy to see that he's healthy. And watch out, Thanksgiving night in Green Bay. Should be very interesting. Once again, the Packers do lead the Rams 24-13. Of course, if it weren't for that pick six that Jordan Love threw, the score would be 24-7. Nonetheless, Giants, I warned you. Looks like we might get the good Giants today. Maybe even get the good Daniel Jones. You're getting that right now. The Giants are putting it on the Seahawks. Well, not putting it on them, but defeating them right now. With about 9:40 left in the game, 23-13. Daniel Jones, 21 for 30, 249 yards, 2 touchdowns. You get the good Daniel Jones today. Bad news for the Seahawks, as they would say. Earlier today, Brett Favre was under a lot of duress. Speaking of former Green Bay quarterbacks, Vikings defeat the Jets in London, 23-17.
Aaron Rodgers.
What about Aaron Brooks? He played for the Saints, right?
Aaron Rodgers was on a lot of stress. Brett Favre, not so much. He's battling.
Brett Favre's battle. He's got a different battle going on.
He's got a different rush going on.
The Bears are. I hate to ask, are the Bears for real? I think they're a lot better than people want to give them credit for. They're 3-2 now, dismantling the Carolina Panthers, 36-10. Caleb Williams, 20 for 29, 304 yards, 2 touchdowns. DJ Moore in a revenge game, 5 receptions, 105 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Is that one of those games where DJ Moore goes to Caleb Williams? Hey, Rook, give me the ball. Give me the ball often.
Yeah, or just I want to eat against my former team as well.
A little something right there.
Let them see what they're missing on.
Jaden Daniels getting it done for the Washington Commanders. The 4-1 now Washington Commanders after beating the Cleveland Browns today, 34-13. Mr. Daniels, 14 for 25, 238 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Mr. Deshaun Watson, for a lot of reasons, but his stat line, 15 for 28, 125 yards, and 1 touchdown. That is not a great return on your investment right there if you're a Cleveland Browns fan or part of their brass. The Jaguars get their first win of the year, 37-34 over the Indianapolis Colts, who are the Dolphins' next opponent. Not this coming Sunday, but the next, because we have that bye week for the Dolphins to rest up and get right. The Bills, they were hot and cold today against the Texans. The Texans a little hotter. The Texans win 23-20 on a last-second field goal. Josh Allen, not very good. 9 for 30, 131 yards.
9 for what?
Touchdown. 9 for 30.
Yo, my quarterback was old and taking a kicking today, but at least he wasn't 9 for. That's 30%.
Not 9 for 20, Vlad. 9 for 30.
That's 30%, bro.
That's less than 30% if you're
no, it's
9.
Right on 30%. It's legitimately 30%. 30 times 30, yeah.
At least he didn't throw it to the other team.
Oh my God! Did he turn the? Oh, he didn't.
I
No
think
turnover?
he had a fumble. Yeah.
Oh, he did have a fumble. By the way, he was playing with a concussion.
Ooh.
Why doesn't anybody say that? He got rocked, and the Bills threw him right back in the game. A viewer on YouTube or Twitch mentioned that, and I sort of hit. He was concussed. Why was he allowed to return back in the game? That's ridiculous.
They have the spotters. They have the tests. They have the independent tests. I don't know. What a shootout between the Ravens and the Bengals. The Bengals do miss a field goal in overtime. The Ravens, they decide to give that guy Derrick Henry the ball to run it. He runs it down their throat. They get in field goal position, and the Ravens defeat the Bengals 41-38. And the Bengals now find themselves at 1-4. Bengals are traditionally slow starters. I'm not going to say hit the panic button yet, but my finger is getting closer and closer. Although Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase look to be getting on the same page.
Well, if the Steelers beat the Cowboys, I'm going to say hit the panic button because you can't be 1-4 while everybody else is at least the two better teams in your division are 3-2 and they got the win over you. And the Steelers could be no, I'm sorry, they can't. They could be 4-1. I'm sorry, they did lose last week to Indianapolis. So, but you don't want the Steelers to have a 4-1 record, and you're 1-4.
No, that's a hard way to crawl back. Got a couple of games out west still in progress. The 49ers and the Cardinals, they are in a dogfight. It is 23-21 49ers lead with about 3 minutes left in the game, and the Cardinals do have the ball. Broncos and Raiders. Raiders are starting to fizzle away, man. The Broncos 34-10 with 7 minutes left.
Bench Gardner Minshew.
Oh, well. A man can dream, man. A man can dream.
We have an upset brewing in Seattle.
Seattle? Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, how the Giants are getting the good Giants and the good Daniel Jones.
You're getting the good Daniel Jones.
23-13 with about 9 minutes left. Will the Giants start Giantsing? I don't know. They've seemed to be in control most of this game.
I'm shocked by this.
The weeks that Daniel Jones had Malik Neighbors wide open and Malik Neighbors had to make an unbelievable catch to make it a touchdown on completion, I was like, oh, goodness gracious. They're looking good today. Coming up in just a few minutes, in fact, at 7:30, we're going to get the pregame started for the Steelers and the Cowboys. That's going to be kicking off at 8:20. Then tomorrow night, Monday Night Football, Saints, Chiefs. That is an 8:15 kickoff. I don't know what to expect in that game. You could get the good Saints that blow people out, or you get the bad Saints that, well, I guess the ones they've lost have been close games. But then again, the Chiefs, that is their expertise, by the way.
They also got 3 to 6 extra defenders with them or offenders.
Oh, you're into that.
What, the uniforms? The zebras?
You're into that? You think that? You don't think the Chiefs are just a good team that
No, I think the Chiefs, listen, I think every good team in the dynasty team, not only they're good, but they have luck that also helps them.
Yeah, they put themselves in positions to have that luck.
Right. So therefore, it's just when it happens just repeatedly, it's just like, come on, man.
I do want to say this, and I know Patrick Mahomes gets the benefit of the doubt anytime he gets touched. Some of this roughing the passer stuff is getting out of hand. I watched it today.
No, I tell you what's worse. The pass interference calls were some of the worst. I know Justin Jefferson's great, but Jesus,
if he doesn't catch it, that doesn't mean they interfered.
Right.
But that Jalen Ramsey roughing the passer, I was like,
oh my God,
what's going on? I understand. Well, it was a hand to the face. It's like it was a brush by, and it wasn't malice. I can understand if he purposely was trying to mush him in the face. He went for his shoulder moved, and he brushed his face.
Man,
roughing the passer.
Listen, Dolphins, you should be happy. You don't want to go. Let me tell you this. You don't want to be like Eagle fans. There's nothing worse than going into your bye week with a loss.
Oh, yeah.
Because now, if you were already in a losing streak, which you were, that would have been at least, another 6 weeks since you've had a win?
Yeah, you stew, too, for a while.
You stew? Nah, bro. Nah,
you always
don't
want to
like
go
that.
on it. Now you're a Dolphins fan. You're optimistic, and I don't want to hear any of this, man. I just wish we would lose, so they'll fire this, and we can get a good draft pick. That doesn't mean anything.
Next
Stop
weekend,
that.
you're enjoying college and NFL football without the worries
of winning or losing,
or the worries of losing. Because guess what? The two teams that you love, well, they won their games. No matter how they won it, they won the games on the road, and they returned back home with a win. You don't want to have a loss. It would have been panic mode, more panic mode. It would have been 2 weeks of just dire dire Dolphins talk of like, oh no, it's over. This now you don't have to hear it. Now, guess what? There's more optimism. There's a lot more optimism. There's wait a minute, as bad as we've been playing early in the season, the teams that everybody thought were better or were going to be great are just as bad or just a little better than us right now, but they're not going through the injuries and questions that we've gone through and that we're starting to, or the Dolphins are starting to answer. Take this win with a positive.
Yep.
Don't care how it was. Don't care if it was an ugly win. Still a win.
No one's lapping the field, especially in the NFL, and we have a week off next week. No Canes, no Dolphins. Feeling good with a win. Feeling good. Going to come back, close out the show. This is Game Day Uncensored, 560 WQAM.
Grass Cadillac, JM Lexus, and Williamson Automotive.
Dolphins win 15-10 over the New England Patriots. A touchdown with about 4.5 minutes left from Alec Ingold. The difference. Got some baseball brewing, postseason baseball action. Phillies trying to tie up their series with the Mets 1-1. They go into the top of the ninth up 6-4. Mark Vientos hits a 2-run home run. It's now 6-6 in the top of the ninth. Mets and Phillies. Mets lead that series once again 1-0 tonight at 8 o'clock. You get the San Diego Padres and the Los Angeles Dodgers rivalry. Dodgers are up 1-0 in that series, but worried about the Dolphins right now. Feeling pretty good. Team looked like it adjusted. It had a lot of adversity. Found the running game, especially in the fourth quarter, put together that late 7.5-minute drive that ended in the only touchdown of the game for the Dolphins by Alec Ingold, and you win the game 15-10. Defense, bend but don't break, held on. Patriots did not have enough to punch it in for another touchdown. Maybe enough for a field goal, but once again, 15-13 would have still been a loss for the New England Patriots. So the Miami Dolphins now move to 2-3. We've heard from Mike McDaniel, Alec Ingold, and Tyler Huntley throughout the show. Tyler Huntley basically saying it's just all about time and familiarity. We got to get used to each other. A couple of passes. He wasn't exactly dynamite on, but the team also wasn't dynamite on catching them. It's just going to take a little more time for some rapport, and that's maybe what the off week can give you, exactly what you need, a little more time to learn the playbook, put in some plays, learn each other, and main thing, get healthy, because we know Devon Achane, he left the game with a concussion, and Javon Holland also left the game with a handy issue. Of course, they're going to be evaluated, and we will know more about that tomorrow. We just know right now, though, 15-10, Dolphins defeat the New England Patriots. And like I said, Mike McDaniel as a head coach, 4-1 against those New England Patriots. The tables have turned. Take the wins where you can get them. There's no such thing as ugly wins in the NFL, and the Dolphins get it done today. Thought that Tyler Huntley had a pretty solid game. He had 18 for 31, 194 yards, and that one bad interception at the beginning of the game that ended up turning into 7 points for the New England Patriots. The rushing game was the story, over 150 yards from your two main backs. Jalen Wright, 13 carries, 86 yards. Raheem Mostert, 19 carries, 80 yards. Raheem Mostert going into the game.
Wait a minute. They both ran over 80 yards. So
yes.
I was saying over 70, but it was over 80.
Yes.
So they ran over 175 yards.
They ran 176 yards combined. No, wait.
The team. If you combine
Huntley
too, right?
We went through the stats. The rushing stats, I looked at them earlier. Overall rushing yards, 193 total rushing yards.
Wow. Yeah, bro, if you're running for 193 yards,
yes,
you're controlling the clock. You're controlling the line of scrimmage. You're going to control the game.
And they did. They still barely won, but they did. On the road, you got to do that.
But even though did you really feel like, okay, New England was going to score another touchdown on that defense?
Nope.
All right.
I was confident. Halfway through that drive. I'm like, they really kind of found something here. They're running the ball. They're pushing people around. They're going to get in the end zone. When they got in the end zone, I was like, I don't think the Patriots have enough to get into the end zone. I don't think they have enough firepower. I think Jacoby Brissett and those guys are good for maybe a field goal, and they kind of got in they definitely got in field goal range. They almost got a touchdown, but nope. Coast only counts on horseshoes and hand grenade. The Dolphins get a big win today, 2-3, tied for second place in the AFC East. New England continues to fall apart. They started off 1-0, beating the Cincinnati Bengals, who are also 1-4, and they have lost game after game after game. The chants for Drake May will only get louder. I don't know if that's the answer, though, because there's not much of an offensive line to protect that young man. I think they're trying to protect him from just absolutely getting demolished, because Jacoby Brissett got waylaid a couple times today by the Dolphins. Give some credit, though. Zach Sealer, a lot of people were worried about him. Like, let's see what he does without Christian Wilkins. He's done a great job without Calais Campbell. 39 years young, going out there playing like he's 29 years young. Calais Campbell has been a leader on this team on and off the field. Very, very proud of the Miami Hurricane. Now, Miami Dolphin. Got Jonnu Smith kind of involved today. Like some of the things they did with Jonnu. I didn't particularly like the run that he had, but I like the 5 passes for 62 yards. I could take that. Odell Beckham Jr. had a target. Once again, they're ramping him up. Ramp. ramp. Devon Achane did leave the game with that concussion. Therefore, I'm guessing Raheem Mostert got more carries than expected. 19 carries for 80 yards and just looked like a leader out there, a presence that really got things done and really, really helped out this team. Emmanuel Ogbah also got that sack. He was all over the place early in the game. I thought Chop Robinson, if you didn't notice, he got a couple of pressures on the quarterback that made Jacoby Brissett throw some passes, a little off time. So Chop Robinson, you got to come around now because Jalen Phillips is out for the season with a knee injury. Defense is okay. No, I'm going to say the detractors are going to say it's the New England Patriots. They're not an offensive juggernaut, but hey, doesn't matter. It's who you play, win the game, take care of business, get it done. 2 touchdowns in the last, 15 quarters? Is that correct for the Dolphins? Yeah.
They scored against Tennessee, right?
They got one late against Tennessee. That was one of the 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Just win, baby. You just find a way to win. The NFL got some good games going on right now. The Raiders trying to sneak back into this one against the Broncos with about 3 minutes left. Doesn't look like they're going to have enough. Broncos are up 34-18. The Cardinals defeat the 49ers.
Say word.
24-23. If you are a 49ers fan, once again, you're 2-3. You're not pushing the panic button, but your hand's getting a little closer to that panic button.
Ooh, things are getting tight in Seattle.
Brock Purdy, 19 for 35, 244 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, though. Brandon Ayuk, 8 receptions, 147 yards.
So they're 2-3 right now.
They're 2-3.
After beating the Jets and looking like world beaters
without
CMC. C-Mac, all of a sudden they've lost to Minnesota.
They're the best team in football.
They've lost to the Arizona Cardinals, and they lost to who else? They lost to.
Let's see.
They lost the game they weren't supposed to. The Rams. They lost to the Rams having
that's
2, having a
the
10-point lead, losing to the Rams in week 2.
Yes, sir. Like I said, I'm not touching. If you're a fan, don't hit the panic button yet, but start looking around. Like,
you know
come
what
on.
though I hate though? A lot of the media was saying that right before the season that they didn't expect the Niners to. They expected the Niners to get the playoffs, maybe win the division, but not be like the 12-13 win team that they usually are.
That was one of those things that I did notice too, kind of on the same subject. I saw a lot of the handicappers and gamblers giving Tyreek Hill what looked like low season yards. And I was like, wow. But then it seemed like everybody did it. I was like, they must know something I don't, because I think Tyreek Hill's going off. I don't know if Tyreek Hill is going to.
Not many offenses. But this week seemed like offenses were going off this week. Because that Tampa Bay Atlanta game was a high scoring game on Thursday night.
Yep.
And you couldn't tell me that if you told me that the Baltimore Cincinnati game would combine be 79 points, I would look at you like there's no way.
Wow. Yeah. Giants got that 23-20 lead on the Seahawks. They have the ball with 2 minutes left in that game. And the Packers with 3:30 left are up 24-19 on the Rams. These NFL games, they tighten up, man. Can't sleep on them. But yeah, you're right, Vlad. They have had some high scores. It looks like the offenses are finally getting into gear. Started Thursday night. Falcons beat the Buccaneers 36-30 in overtime. Another high score today. The Bears scored 36 points on the Panthers. Panthers only had 10 points. The Commanders, 34 points also. Browns only scored 13 points, 10-15, 15-10 Dolphins.
Jacksonville, Indy was a high-scoring game.
37-34 Jacksonville over the Colts. That's a high-scoring game. Ravens, Bengals, like you said. What a game. 41-38 in overtime. Broncos have 34 points right now. Yeah, offenses are getting in gear. What else can you say? Tonight, we'll see what happens between Cowboys and Steelers. And tomorrow, you get Kansas City and New Orleans. Things are starting to shape up. Yeah, Vlad, you can't say, well, it's early in the season or it's the beginning of the season. This is not the beginning anymore. We passed the beginning part. It's still earlier in the season, but it is not like week 1 or 2. We're starting to kind of figure people out, know who teams are. Vikings are a surprise at 5-0 with Sam Darnold as their quarterback going over there to London. It looked like a London game. I was watching it while I was doing the pregame today.
Yeah. All the London games is like, until the second half, like in the fourth quarter, that's when things get a little interesting. And that's the NFL. They suck you in and you got to watch terrible play.
I'll be honest.
For like 2.5 hours. And then all of a sudden the fourth quarter kicks in and you're like, oh, this was a good game. Here's a hint, guys. I'm going to tell you. Last year's Super Bowl wasn't that exciting, except for that fourth quarter and then into that overtime. and then you're always left with what you just recently saw, or the lasting image you saw. So you're gonna think, oh, this was one of the best. It was a good Super Bowl. It wasn't great.
There was nothing super remarkable about it until the end.
Same thing with the Sunday London game. The London games are never good. They're never good, and until the fourth quarter, when all the things start getting excited, and you're like, oh, okay.
That's how good these teams are. Like, there were a few blowouts. Like we said, the Commanders got the Browns, the Bears got the Panthers, but most of these games are close. They're nip and tuck at the end, not all the way. That first half of the Dolphins Patriots game was like watching quicksand. And I mean,
it was bad, bro.
But then in the second half, they both started moving the ball, getting some field goals here and there, and it picked up and it got tight. And that's what the NFL, number one, that's what happens, but that's kind of what they want also. I mean, it looked like a couple of minutes ago, the Packers were going to just walk away from the Rams, and lo and behold, now it's 24-19. The Packers are leading the Rams with 3.5 minutes left. The Packers do have the ball. It is 2nd 10 around midfield. And we're going to see the Seahawks now have the ball with 1:40 left, down 23-20 to the New York Giants. Are the Giants going to be the Giants? We will find out, because just seems like some of these teams, they just can't get out of their own way. I don't know. Patriots were definitely the Patriots, especially towards the end of the game when Jacoby Brissett was trying to lead the team to a touchdown. Not a field goal, a touchdown. Mike McDaniel saying, we get an off week now. We get healthier. Tyler Huntley gets more acclimated. We enjoyed having the running game. And that running game was something at the very end, Vlad. That last series really, really made you say, yeah.
Hey. You know who played very well? Run blocking? Liam Eichenberg.
He did get a holding call or two. I did see that, but that happens. Yeah.
But that fourth quarter, that drive, that semi-play drive, I saw him. They were pancaking whoever the nose tackle, defensive tackle of the Patriots were. They were laying some heavy blocks, and you saw that Jalen Wright was getting through the hole and then running over guys as well.
Give credit where credit's due.
And Raheem as well.
Yeah. Raheem was running mad. It seemed like he was putting it down. He was putting it on. And remember,
relax. You don't want I was like, hey, your chest is messed up.
I know.
Don't re-aggravate it so instantly. Bro.
And Jalen Wright, remember, he had that big run that would have gotten us in field goal position, taken back because Julian Hill got called for a holding penalty.
That was tough.
Nonetheless, all's well that ends well, 15-10. It's going to be interesting to see. Of course, we get 2 weeks off now, which is nice because we don't have Hurricanes. We don't have Dolphins next week. They're both on a bye week. We appreciate that by whoever the schedule makers are. It's going to be interesting to see what this Dolphins team does against an Indianapolis Colts team that, for the most part, seems to be reeling a little bit. They're 2-3. They lost to the winless Jacksonville Jaguars today. Don't even know who's starting. Do you want Joe Flacco or do you want Anthony Richardson?
You want Anthony Richardson to start because he's not that. He's too raw. Like, the guy doesn't have that many starts. Joe Flacco, he's a vet.
He's cool.
He's cool, and he's a vet. They have a pretty good defense. The Colts, I like their defense. I know it doesn't look like it, but they're fast. They're a fast team. But I don't think Jonathan Taylor might be back for that game.
Mm-hmm. It's 2 weeks from now. So yeah, you don't know what the whole situation is going to be.
So I don't know, but you don't know what their backfield situation is going to be, but you're going to go to Indy. You're going to go to Indy feeling way better. So much better than you would have if you had lost today's game. You would have gone on a 4-game losing streak into the bye, and questions about the offense, questions about the head coach, questions obviously about the front office with the moves that they made. Now, if you told me before the season, even with Tua as a quarterback, that after 6 games you're 3-3, you might be like,
we're okay. We're still in it.
We're okay. We're still in it. But if you're 3-3 with all the stuff that's gone on with this team, and you're 3-3, I'm gonna look at it as more of a victory.
Yeah.
And the team they might have bent, but they didn't break.
Nope. Did the Dolphins find something out about themselves with the run game today? Is that something that maybe going forward you're going to see Mike McDaniel, after all these years of saying, oh, we're going to run the ball more, we're going to run the ball more, he might actually go into Indiana and run the ball more?
And what I would love for this to continue to be is a balance.
Mm-hmm.
So that when Tua does come back, you're still running the ball. You want to throw the ball 25, 27 times, cool, but run the ball 25, 27 times as well. Go back to being the Dolphins that you were early of last season.
There is something about leaning on a team and then getting down towards the end of the game and they're worn out and you lean on them and you just run it right down the field and score a touchdown with your fullback, kind of the icing on the cake, saying that's how you do it. That's
and also it's also great when you beat a team in their game.
Yeah, that's what they want. That's what the New England Patriots want to do.
That's the way they want to play, regardless. And this is the game you had to adjust and say, all right, we're not the Ferrari team anymore. We're not the sports car team right now. Our driver's not there, but we can be an SUV team.
You know, I wouldn't mind being an SUV team than every once in a while breaking out the Ferrari or breaking out the Porsche, just for, a joyride, quote unquote. Then you got something right there. Team that can beat you, at least. And of course, let's not get too crazy about this offensive line, but they proved themselves a little bit today. A team that can beat you on the ground. And then when they need the big explosive play, they've got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Jonnu Smith made some steps, I thought, today. Devon Achane, of course, he did get the concussion, but we know he's a speedster. Raheem Mostert seems to be, I'll be honest, it seems like he's in midseason form after having the rib injury. He looked great today. Jalen Wright looks to be more than capable at running back, 13 for 86 yards, 13 carries at 86 yards. I like this explosiveness. I like that he is very decisive and he hits the holes really fast and hard, and then he runs, downhill. Maybe you got a little something going right here. You got the running game. Take some of the pressure off your fourth string, third string, whatever you want to call him, string quarterback, and then see what happens. Is it one of those things like Inter Miami with Messi? If you keep winning, do you give Tua another week? Nah, I think Tua's back no matter what. This is the NFL. You don't play around, man. You can't risk a game anywhere. I think Tua's back for the Cardinals. I don't know that. We don't know that, but all signs from what we're hearing is that he will be back. Will he be back on a 3-3 Dolphins team, or will they be 2-4? Man, you win the game against the Indianapolis Colts in 2 weeks, Vlad. That turns up the decibel level just a lot. Not a little bit, a lot.
You're 500.
You're 500 without your starting quarterback.
You're 500 a third of the season out. Third way into the season, you're 500. Because it's 18 weeks. So even that would be a 6th game, even though we play 17 games in the NFL. But I just look at it, third of the season in, you're 500. All right, but you're 500 without your quarterback missing 4 weeks, 4 of those 6 games.
You've had some injuries. You had a lot of injuries.
You've had a lot of injuries. Offensive line. You've had injuries with the defense. You know Tyreek and Waddle are gonna get going very shortly. The great thing of this win this week, was the running game set the tone, and they never wavered from the run attack. And in the fourth quarter, the running game showed and led to victory. So therefore, let's continue that. Let the Dolphins continue running the ball. So that way you're controlling the line, you're controlling the time of possession, and you're giving your defense a break. You're giving them rest. And you see when they're not on the field all game, you see how lively they are. You saw how energetic, how fast they were moving to the ball. Ugly win, but to win.
Hey, and look at this. If you get 3-3 and you get Tua back, the Bills next week, they play the Jets. One of those teams has to win, one of those teams has to lose, or they can tie. I understand that. The Bills also, the week that Tua would be coming back, October 20th, would be they get the Titans.
The Titans, okay.
New England next. You never know what New England's going to do, but next week they
who cares about New England?
They get I'm gonna just for fact Texans and then the Patriots. And then the Jaguars and then the Jets next week. Like we said, the Bills, and then they get the Steelers. Who that's a tough game right there. You don't know what position you could be in by October 20th if you're a Dolphins fan.
Yeah,
you could be anywhere.
You could go on a 3-game winning streak, and all of a sudden you're in first place in the AFC East. So you don't know. So then everybody else. That's the thing about I'm gonna keep saying this until the NFL season ends. 6 days you could feel on top of the world, or for 6 days you could feel like wet dog manure.
And if you think this is a meaningless, pointless game today that the Dolphins won, think again. Last year, we went into the final game of the regular season against the Buffalo Bills. Win and you're number 2 seed. Lose and you're number 6 seed.
When you could be hosting
Lose, you go to the coldest place on earth with Taylor Swift in the crowd.
There you go.
And play the defending world champions who are, I'm sorry, you know you don't like world champions, Super Bowl champions that went on to win the
I
Super
don't care.
Bowl.
You can say world champions.
But you know what I mean? And
I'm not Noah Lyle.
But to say there's one, oh goodness, to say that one game, it's a meaningless 15-10 win, you don't know that. Nope. You do not know that.
You don't know that meaningless 15-10 win is the reason why
you might host your first playoff game.
Exactly.
We're not getting too far ahead.
Because it's a division win.
Yeah, it's a division win.
That was a division win. That was a conference win. That meaningless 15-10 win could be the reason why you're ahead of a certain team, or why you may get the tiebreaker. So any win, there's no meaningless wins in the NFL.
There is none. So enjoy this win. You get next week to enjoy it. Get healthy. Who knows what the future holds? All you know, you got 15-10 over the New England Patriots. Vlad, thank you so much for hanging out today. Let's do it again next weekend for Sports Day. Today, though, Dolphins win on Game Day, Uncensored, 560 WQAM. Later, Slow.
And that's